regular scheduled programming for this special presentation from Wildcats Radio 1290.
Where's Kelvin at?
Wildcats Nation, are you ready?
Fafita, gun, takes the snap, firing, corner of the end zone, cop, touchdown, Arizona.
That's a strike by Noah Fafita.
Short drop, looking right, here comes the pressure, they sack him, get him to the ground. Oh, perfect timing for the Wildcats. Kick is up and it's blocked. Wildcats block it and they pick it up. And I don't think anybody's going to catch him. And it's picked off. Trayton Stukes throws to the back of the end zone. It's caught. Samuelson, touchdown, Arizona.
Bear down, Cats. Let's go. Our Window Depot coverage of UA football begins with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We are counting down to kickoff for Arizona football. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Straight back to throw, has some time, waits. Deep down the near side, got a man open. Watley makes the catch. He is gone. Nunu to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Arizona. Tipped up in the air, picked off. Arizona with the football the other way. Genesis Smith with the pick, and the return sets up the Wildcats deep in the red zone. Fafita rolling right, throws in the flat. It's caught there to the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. Trey Spivey, his first as a Wildcat. Throws left, and it's picked off. That'll be a touchdown for the Wildcats. Into the end zone. Javion Cole. Pick 6.
It is Football Friday in Arizona, and we are not necessarily talking about high school football. We are talking about college football here tonight. One of the biggest non-conference home games that this town has seen in quite a long time. It is the Cats versus the Cats. If you're watching on one of our streams, it's called Cat on a Cat Collision here tonight. Arizona, Kansas State for the second straight year in the non-conference as the Wildcats look to go to 3-0 on the season. A pleasant good afternoon to you, coming to you live from the U of A Mall here, east side of the mall, straight across from the Richard Jefferson Gymnasium, just about a quarter of a mile away from Arizona Stadium, where tonight all eyes in the nation are going to be on your Arizona Wildcats. Joined as always by my guys. I've got the Captain Kelvin Eafon, class of 1998. I've got Glenn Howell as well. He is the tight end from 1985. Guys, national television. And again, we don't get a lot of games like this. Non-conference, big non-conference, Power 4 games here in Tucson. I mean, I hearkened this week back to the first few years I was here. I can remember when Oklahoma State came in 2000, and I believe it was 2009. I believe Iowa came in one year as well early on. But since then, there have not been a lot of these types of games here in Tucson. In this new conference, although not a conference game, a chance for this team and this community to show themselves to the United States.
I'll tell you what, I've been excited all week long. And when they announced that they were going to do the 80s uniforms, I have an 80s group chat, and today we want to say a happy heavenly birthday to Larry Smith today.
Absolutely.
Who started the physicality of defense in Arizona, who is just that's where I think it really started a lot of the really physical, violent defenses that started in the 80s. I think it's great that they're going back to those helmets, and God bless Coach Smith. I know he's looking down on us and proud of all his players and everything, and I just want to say happy birthday to him. And just being excited about this game all week. I couldn't wait. This is one game I couldn't wait for. I was like, man, it's almost here. It's almost here. And I just think – and then when they brought out those 80s – that helmet and everything, that just got me goosebumps. And then I have a text message from all the 80 guys, and we were sending just the Claw Club. Yeah. Were you in the Claw Club?
Is that what it's the Claw Club?
And we'll talk about that. The Claw Club.
The Claw.
How you get
Claw, not Paw. Claw Club.
No, the Claw Club.
Yeah,
how
you
get into the Claw Club. you have to be able to. It's not just they don't just give you those claws. Right. You got to earn those claws.
Yeah. And I'll say you want big-time games like this because this is what the guys come to play in. It's cool playing Hawaii. It's cool playing Weber State, but you want to play teams that you know can beat you. You want to. That's what it's all about, competition. You want to play at the highest level so you can play the best type of competition. And to be on TV on a Friday, most high school games are going on tonight, but the true people that love sports are going to be watching no matter what, and it gives a chance for us to show people our stadium, our beautiful scenery around here, and our athletes on the field.
Yeah, I think that's the only real negative is I hate that the fact that this takes away. I think Fridays should be for the high school kids, Saturdays for the college kids, Sundays for the professionals. Obviously, we're in an age where television dictates, and so some of the schools obviously played games last night. There'll be a bunch right up the street. There's going to be one heck of a battle. Yeah. South Point Catholic hosting Scottsdale Saguaro. Those two teams have gotten together in the postseason a number of times over the years. So absolutely get out and support your high schools if you have involvement with those. We certainly don't want to take you away from that, but if you don't, we certainly would like to see you out here at the stadium here tonight for this ball game here. A call to order. It was a call to Wildcat order this week from the head coach.
The city of Tucson, we need our fans, our students, Greek row, fire up, man. I was a member of the Greek system back in the day. Let's go. Let's get this thing rocking. Zona Zoo, all of you. We are calling all Wildcats everywhere. Let's pack the stadium and make this thing rocking. It'll be an awesome, awesome atmosphere. I'm really, really looking forward to it.
Yeah, we got two cats, but one of us is a dog. And we're the underdog. So are we a dog on this game?
We are the dog.
We are the dog
in this
so
game.
Let's play like dogs tonight, man. I mean, like, we got to have some dog in us tonight, man. I'm just saying is that it's important for us to get out fast. We need to get out to get the crowd involved and everybody in Tucson. Get out here, man. We can't get 48 in city of Tucson 1.2. Come on. We got to be able to get some people in here and get out. As soon as you get off of work, get out. And business, I know you guys are doing your business. They let you guys go a little early.
Everybody leaves at 3 o'clock
exactly.
on Thursday, on Friday anyway. So
let's go.
Plenty of time.
Let's go.
Plenty of time. Get another hour in of work and get on out of the office. And heck, my building is practically empty by 2:30 most Friday. We're the only ones in there because we got a show at 3 o'clock for sure. Last week, really the first 2 weeks for this team, there have been a lot of penalties, 18 penalties in the first 2 games for the Arizona Wildcats. That is something that was a point of emphasis this week for Brent Brennan and his coaching staff because you are facing a team tonight in Kansas State that generally plays mistake-free.
I don't want us to hold. We're not supposed to hold. We're not supposed to target. You know what I mean? Like, we're supposed to play football the right way, and holding is a penalty. So we don't want to do that crap. Like, we want to play clean and we want to play hard, but we need to do things the right way because we can't put ourselves in a situation where that was stalled out multiple drives in our first 2 games, right? Put us behind the sticks or whatever. So that's a huge point of emphasis this week.
That is your head coach, Brent Brennan. Let's dive a little bit further into this game tonight between Arizona and Kansas State.
It's time to take our first look at today's game. Brought to you by The Window Depot. The Window Depot. Lowest energy prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindowdepot.com.
Guys, a lot of holding last week, a lot of holding in the red zone, which, again, that's problematic because you really need to be efficient when you have opportunities to score points. I think the thing just going back and watching the tape for me that was a little bit concerning was at times from the defensive line for Weber State, I saw younger guys pushing our guys off their point, pushing them backwards. That's not something that you really expect to see from a team that's from an FCS school like Weber State.
Yeah, and you know, there's some good players on the team. You know, they're not FCS. We got a bunch of those guys on our team. So we just got to be able to control the line of scrimmage, like he said, no holding penalties, and just get our fits. Make sure that we're doing proper technique, and we can win this game. And they should be able to. And the guys that were on that team from last year, they got to remember that was a beatdown. You know, they kind of shut us down, and we got to understand the guys that were there. They got to have some kind of vengeance coming into this game, thinking that, you know what, they're coming to our place, we got to take care of business.
Yeah, I'm with you, DK. I did see a little bit of the guys getting pushed back a little bit, so I'm interested to see this week, are we able to come out and push these guys a little bit around to give our running backs a chance to run the ball, because we're going to have to be able to run the ball and protect our quarterback to even have a chance today. So, yeah, it's our first time getting that big-time action, so we'll find out what we have.
Speaking of quarterbacks, you got a pretty good one on the other side, and Avery Johnson ran for 111 yards last year in a 31-7 win for Kansas State on the road. For the Wildcats on the road in Manhattan. Brent Brennan gives you a little bit of a scout on the starting quarterback for the Kansas State Wildcats.
He's obviously a dynamic dual-threat guy. He throws it well, and he's got a lot of speed, and he's a dangerous runner. And so anytime you play somebody like that, it really, really challenges your defense on all, in all aspects of your defense. And you have to do a great job of tackling. We've got to have population at the football to make sure that we get people on the ground and don't let people get out and get loose on us. But he's a really, really good player.
If there was one thing that might have been a little bit concerning by the 48-3 win by Arizona over Weber State last Saturday, that was quarterback Jackson Gilkey did get outside and got a couple of sizable runs against this defense. You make those same kind of mistakes tonight, and we'll dive into that a little bit later in our defensive scouting report. But this is the kind of quarterback who can turn those into 30, 40-yard runs.
This is exactly what I'm saying about technique. That's all. That play was all about technique. It's the technique. Where are you supposed to be in the proper place at the proper time? Understand your technique, be disciplined, know where your help is coming from, because we're going to have to just bottle this guy up. So if you're there and you think you can make the tackle, you may have to make a decision. You know what? Let my teammates help me. I'm just going to force him back inside because here they come. And then they can get a good hit on him. So we got to be able to be disciplined tonight.
And when you talk about discipline, I worry a little bit because we do a lot of blitzing.
Right.
And a lot of time when you blitz, it opens up gaps for and you can get gap. This is the type of quarterback that can take it all the way to the house. So I worry a little bit about the blitzing. Yes, you can get home, but you also create gaps sometimes, and it opens up a big lane. And this is the type of quarterback, again, that we can't let get loose.
And you get a little bit undisciplined when you're playing against teams like Weber, when you can blitz and you're blitzing and you're coming, and then all of a sudden, you know what? I can just go anywhere, any lane I can, and I'm at the quarterback because they just couldn't pick us up.
Right.
But these guys are going to be a little bit more disciplined. They're staying in their lane, picking up and counting guys out. The linemen counting guys out, who's got who.
Yep.
So you got to be able to. And if you're supposed to be rushing on the outside, inside arm in, coming outside, being outside free, you got to do that because that's going to help the other guy that's coming on the blitz. They're going to get him free.
A lot of clouds in the sky right now. We had some rain earlier here in southern Arizona. Unusual morning rain, at least over in the CNWT, Central Northwest Tucson, where we had some pretty sizable raindrops that came through about 10:30 this morning. Nothing in terms of precipitation at the moment, but we are still on the edges of monsoon season, so you never know. We had a little bit of a delay, 2 hours, last Saturday night here. First time in some 16 years, though. We had a game that could not get going on time because of weather. That created obviously some issues with the teams. I think one of the positives is that they hadn't really gone out to warm up yet, so it wasn't like they'd warmed up, got loose, and then gone back in and gotten cold. They were still in the locker room at the time. That is when you've got to kind of adjust, and Brent Brennan pointed out this week one of the members of the team, one of the members of the support staff who really shook into action to make sure that things stayed on point for your Arizona Wildcats during that delay.
I felt like Lauren Bossler snapped into action, making sure we had food when it kept getting pushed, making sure we got food in here for the players. Because you try and eat roughly 4 hours before kickoff, it's kind of the magic number, but then that kickoff keeps getting pushed and pushed and pushed. And as you know, these guys are big dudes and they're hungry. And so you got to make sure they have gas in the tank because, it's a long game, and with all the timeouts, you knew it was going to be a long game.
Yeah, Lauren Vossler, she is in her 9th season with the Arizona Wildcats, 7th as a full-time member of the staff. So she's worked for this program under, obviously, Kevin Sumlin as well as Jed Fish. And now with this program, this current coaching staff, under Brent Brennan, but so important that you have those people that can make those adjustments. Guys, as players, when you're in that situation, what are you trying to do to stay ready and stay nourished? Because obviously you had your meal, you got over here, and now you're off your schedule.
That's the worst. It's the worst, man. I've had that when I was the strength coach at the Sugar Skulls, where we had a delay because of electrical, because we play indoor, and the guys were all sitting around, and I'm like, we got to get these guys something to eat, and we ain't got that budget, okay? We ain't got that budget. So start digging into your backpacks, fellas, and getting something to eat, because you know what? We're not really providing you anything. But it's tough. You got to keep them loose. You got to make sure guys are, stretching a little bit, but you don't want them to stretch too much. You don't want them to stretch too much. So you got some things that you have to do. You got to keep them, give them fluids, make sure they're hydrated, and it's just a tough situation. But we came out and played good.
Yeah,
and that was good.
I was kind of an emotional guy, so, it probably would have drained me a little bit because, you get up for that high, get ready to start the game, and then you got to kind of come down, and you're not sure when the game is going to happen. So, for those guys who get a little emotional about it, they could get, a little drained because of the extended, amount of hours having to be out there.
All right, one of the storylines that we're dealing with tonight is two guys that switch sides in this rivalry. We've got Trey Spivey, who comes over from Kansas State, wide receiver for your Arizona Wildcats. And then you've got Gunnar Maldonado, who went over to play in Manhattan. One guy that's looking forward to seeing Gunnar back tonight, his former teammate and defensive back, Dalton Johnson.
I always appreciate my boy Gunnar. He's a great athlete and a great teammate. We definitely had a connection when he was playing here. College football is a business these days, and, he decided to transfer over to K-State. Never mad at him, wishing him the best of luck, and excited to see him this weekend and see if he gets out there and plays.
All right, we'll dive more into Gunnar Maldonado's new role in Kansas State, Trey Spivey, what he's done here as well, coming up as we move on through our Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Let's let you know everything we've got coming up for you over the course of the next now under 3 hours.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, Trey Spivey got his first touchdown last week. We'll dive into the offensive scouting report coming up next. In the huddle today,
we got some great – we've been talking about how physical our DBs were, and, we have some guys that played – it kind of started it from 1979 into the 80s. We got Tony Neely. He was the defensive back, free safety, 6'3", guy that was a great hitter, had great guys around him, along with another guy that was in there. It was Van Brandon. Van's a great friend of mine. He was in my wedding, and as I said, I've been trying to get him on for about 10 years. Okay, but he, was a good DB here, and played, did a lot of stuff here at University of Arizona. So we're just excited to have them on here to talk about some physicality of the defensive backs of going forward.
All right, defensive scouting report as well. We'll get all your scores. Not a lot of games going on tonight. Captain's Corner for today.
We have Marquis Flowers, former linebacker here at the University of Arizona. Started out as a free safety, moved over to outside linebacker, which, helped that speed, be able to be a force. Ended up playing in the NFL as well. And today I think he's
honorary captain, I think. Yeah, he's out second week in a row. We'll have one of the honorary captains here.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. All right, that's just a few of the things we've got coming up for you. Also later on, we'll have your best bets on this one. Arizona comes in a 1.5-point underdog today against the Kansas State Wildcats. That is your Right Way Rundown for hour number 1. It is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Along with Kelvin Eafon and Glenn Howell, I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
That's our first look at the game. Brought to you by The Window Depot. The Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindowdepot.com. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona football is just getting started. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 1 of the pregame show is brought to you by Advantage Air and Mechanical, Cactus Auto Company, Casino del Sol, Done Right Services, Drain Masters, First Chiropractic, Idaho Central Credit Union, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, Royal GMC, Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, The Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
If you have old windows, they are probably driving up your energy bills. Cool things down with energy-efficient windows from the Window Depot. The Window Depot provides unbeatable value and a wide variety of in-stock and custom-order windows to fit your style and budget. Choose from our SI window brand, made in the USA for quality you can trust, or custom order from top manufacturers for a perfect fit. Order online at thewindowdepot.com or visit a location near you. Experience the best prices, the biggest inventory, only at the Window Depot.
At Goldberg & Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
You mean they don't use yesterday's newspaper?
No, they use the latest in technology and innovation to eliminate bugs, bees, termites, weeds, and more.
So no as seen on TV salt guns?
Nope, only solutions that target insect biology, using chemistry to help protect the environment, people, and their pets.
You are so smart.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
Summer may be winding down, but the Arizona heat isn't going anywhere. Keep your AC strong through this endless summer with Rightway. When systems are pushed too hard, they fail, causing strange noises, unusual smells, or no cool air at all. Rightway is here with 15% off any AC repair to get you comfortable fast. Or be proactive and book your $65 AC tune-up today and avoid emergency breakdowns. Call 520-640-COOL or visit rightwayac.com.
At O'Reilly Chevrolet, we love trucks. We love them so much, as a matter of fact, that we've dedicated an entire month to them. And during Truck Month, right now, you can pick up a Chevy Silverado, the #1 selling full-size pickup in Arizona for the past 3 years. So what are you waiting for? Check us out at O'Reilly Chevrolet on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or go to O'Reilly.com. See us today and get that new truck at O'Reilly Chevrolet, giving you more since 1924. Together, let's drive.
Step into a world where rewards never end. Welcome to Club Soul at Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun. Every moment brings excitement. Every visit unlocks exclusive perks, free play, dining discounts, and more. From high-stakes action to luxurious experiences, your rewards grow with every play. Join today for endless benefits and unforgettable moments. Club Soul. Play more, earn more, experience more. Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun. Enterprise of the Boscoyaki Tribe.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
Back your hometown favorite. Get your very own exclusive University of Arizona debit card from Hughes Federal Credit Union. Pair your new card with a free checking account that earns dividends with no monthly fees, no minimum balance, and convenient 24/7 online and mobile banking. Visit one of our 7 convenient branch locations to get your card instantly or open an account online at hughesfcu.org/wildcats. Show your Wildcat spirit all year long with Hughes Federal Credit Union. Certain restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Our Window Window Depot coverage of UA football continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the tight end Glenn Howell, and the captain Kelvin Eafon.
The receiver's right, tight end right, play fake. Fafita back, time, waits, fires, end zone, caught, touchdown, Arizona. And he threaded the needle on top of that. Had to place that perfectly, and there was Brandon Phillips to snag it for the TD.
Yeah, that was a laser. I mean, you saw that. That was a perfect description to threading the needle, because he threw that right in. There was a very small window, and Noah threw an absolute laser.
Here is the offensive scouting report for today's game.
Fafita, gun, takes the snap, firing, corner of the end zone. Cobb breaks away at the 5. He's in the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona.
The offensive scouting report is brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
All right, Noah Fafita, 393 yards last Saturday night, threw for 5 touchdown passes and a 48-3 win for the Wildcats over the Weber State Wildcats. Guys, it was nice to see Noah get a confidence game underneath himself heading into really the start of the main part of the schedule tonight.
Yeah, and a lot of laughing. I hope we get a lot of laughing today. That's from Lamont. Yeah, a lot of laughing. That's just going to be the indicator of how good we're doing. That's our Lamont laughter meter, how good we're doing. But, he has to be more efficient. He has to be – every week he's got to get better. That's the thing about it. We can't be satisfied with the last week. The last week is gone. You got to clean up what the reads that you missed, because there were a few that he missed.
Yeah.
And he's got to get those together and just keep on progressing, getting better and better. And that's what you got to do when you have a 12-game season. You have your games that are supposed to be, a little bit less of an opponent. You're supposed to perform well, but you get better every week. And I think he has progressed from week to week.
Well, what I like for Noah is that he had a chance to put it on tape, that he can play well with this offense, because I think it's going to help the team as far as Kansas State has the game plan for the run and the pass now, because of the big plays that were made by the receivers and Noah finding the open guys. So I think all in all, it's going to help him have a better day today and not have to just deal with them focusing on the pass. They have to deal with a run game as well.
We got a chance to hear from the offensive coordinator, Seth Dagey, this week. He talked about Noah Fafita's performance through the first 2 games of the season.
You guys know this. Playing quarterback's the toughest position to play in all sports, because you don't see everything. And when things aren't going great, it's always your fault. And that's part of playing the position. Was it all his fault? No. There was MAs all over the place. Was there times that it was his fault early in that first game? Yeah, his eyes progression was fast. He missed throws he doesn't normally miss. I thought his feet were a little happy at times. But the greatest thing about him is he owned it. After the game on Weber, like I told you, I was a little bit disappointed in the way we finished. And he came up to me and said, "Coach, that's on me." And right then I knew, that just told me everything. I mean, I already knew the kid, I already knew who he was and what he's about, but it was like, okay, he is a real one. And so he took a lot of ownership of that first game, of how that's not the standard of play he wants to play at, but he also took the accountability and owned it, fixed it going into that next week, and played pretty elite.
I was going to say, go ahead, Kelly.
It's funny, I keep hearing this, because I compared to last year and I never heard that.
Yeah.
So he wasn't taking ownership last year.
Yeah.
It's funny to hear that, but it's cool with the new offensive coordinator that they're able to communicate the way that they're communicating, because right now I guess what the coordinator said, it's mistakes that he's making while the things aren't going right. And I thought that was happening last year a little bit, but they blamed a couple coordinators. But again, he's settling down. He's still learning this offense, and it's good that he has good communication in these guys. But now we're really going to find out when you face adversity. Adversity and how that communication is going and how things are going. When you're winning and blowing people out, it's all fun and games.
Yeah, and now they're desperately going to stop the run, because last week they got ran over by Army.
Army, yeah.
And there's going to be some angry. This is going to be a violent game. This is going to be a real violent game because I'm sure that their defensive coordinator is telling them that they got to get a little bit more physical because they got physicaled against Army. Army had 290-something yards and 290-something on the ground, and they were just pounding them. So they're going to definitely – that's going to be their first thing. I think their whole plan is to stop our run, force the pass.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear from Noah Fafita, the quarterback of kind of talking about this offense and what he's taking away from Seth Dickey.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about the past, really. Past successes and past failures for me. Be where your feet are is a big quote I live by. So just trying to dive into this new offense, trying to meet with Coach Daggy as much as possible. We probably spent hours upon hours throughout the winter and these past couple of weeks just trying to learn this offense. And let me tell you, it's a great offense. It's a great scheme. So extremely just fortunate to have him here. He's great. Fantastic coach, even better person, and that sounds cliche, but it's true when it comes to Coach Daggy, and we're excited to have him lead us this year.
All right, he had a really good setup there with Javen Watley last week. Before we hear from Javen, let's pause here and allow station identification. You're listening to Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day on Wildcats Radio 1290.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. The Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com.
It is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. We're coming to you live from the U of A Mall, east side of the U of A Mall, and it is the Wildcats and the Wildcats. Kansas State, Arizona State tonight here at Arizona Stadium with kickoff coming up at 6 o'clock along with Kelvin Eafon and Glenn Howell. I am David Kelly. Big game last weekend for Javen Watley, one of the new wide receivers from your Arizona Wildcats. Put up some huge numbers alongside Noah Fafita, and that was good to see. Scoring a couple of touchdowns early on the first two drives for U of A. Javen talking after the game about his connection with Noah Fafita.
I feel like we've been practicing that like all week at practice, so I feel like it just clicked when he got time to do it.
Brent said that he was kind of on your case on Wednesday. He wanted you to play faster. What did you kind of take from that instruction out onto the field tonight?
Oh yeah, so he was just basically telling me like fast guys don't play slow or run slow, and I just took that with me tonight when I was seeing my opponent just to think like to run by him.
Yeah, I mean, again, guys, it's motivation all the time. I mean, if you got a guy that maybe is not, playing up to his speed in practice, sometimes you got to let him know, hey, this is especially in this unit right now where they're dealing with some injuries early on to Chris Hunter and Chris Hudson, who both played last week, but still maybe didn't have their sea legs. You were looking for that guy who was going to step up and be an outlet for Noah.
Yeah, and there's great opportunity here because I think they're going to play about 4 or 5 guys, maybe 6 guys.
You have to.
Because if they go fast, they're going to need to have some, some guys that come in and sub in. So when you're in there, you got to understand, you got to run the right route, the right depth, and those are so important for the timing of this offense because the 1, 2, 3 step, you got to be in your break. You got to be in where you're supposed to be. You got to make sure that we can put pressure on the defense of where our routes are. We're putting the pressure. That's what they're designed to do that. So if you're not in the right place at the right time, then you're not going to put pressure on that defense. You're not going to make that defense be susceptible to breaking down. So it's all about the timing. So get in your route. Don't get jammed at the line of scrimmage. Get out, get in your route. And that's the key thing about getting this offense going.
And it's one thing to get in your route, but when you got that speed to take the top off,
yeah,
that's a whole other thing. And
you're gone.
Yeah, and you're looking for those guys to be those guys. So it was great to see him against Weber State.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we need to see it against Kansas State.
Yes.
When they put that 8 and 9 guys in the box and they're one-on-one, we need to be able to get it to these receivers and they make a play to force that safety out of that box.
Absolutely.
Javen Watley, a young man who comes from UT Chattanooga, so coming over for, again, an FCS young man who's coming up here, and a guy who played quarterback in high school. So he said this week that he uses those instincts that he learned playing quarterback at the receiver position.
Like playing quarterback, so in high school, it helped me become a leader,
And I would also say, like, it helped me know, like, what everybody's going on, because I still have a quarterback mindset. So when I'm playing receiver, I also look to read the defense as well and, like, know what everybody else has, like, to do. So I would say, like, it helped me, like, overall with, like, how I play as a receiver and how I view the field.
Javen, we just obviously heard him refer to you as Nunu, which we've heard other people do that as well. Where did that nickname come from?
That's a very common question. But when I was a baby, my family used to call me Snoop Snoop, and my brother's like a year older than me, so like he would just say Nunu, and it's just been stuck ever since.
Isn't it amazing how many nicknames come from childhood when, like, little brother, little sister couldn't pronounce it?
Yeah. Yeah. Just like my daughter, Kobe calls her Della. I'm like, why you call her Della? Like, calls her Della. And I'm like, where did that come from?
Della.
That has nothing to do with Haley.
Exactly, right? Might have been something he heard as a kid, right? Snoop couldn't say it, so it was Nunu. I love hearing those types of stories. Javen Watley, the first Arizona receiver not named Tetairoa McMillan to post a 160-plus receiving yard game since Dorian Singer did it back in 2022 when he had 176 yards against Washington State. Both those guys, Dorian Singer and Tetairoa McMillan, living their lives on NFL rosters right now. So hopefully that's a sign of maybe something to come for Javen Watley for sure. Let's hear from Brent Brennan, who was asked this week if he felt like Noah had something that Noah felt like he had to make up for after the uneven performance against Hawaii.
I don't think Noah necessarily looks at it as like trying to make up for it, but he wants to play better. You know, like he just has such a high standard for himself, and we all have such a high standard for him. And so I thought it was great the way we executed in the first half on offense. You know, I think we scored on every possession, I think, in the first half. You know, the stuff I talked about last week, like some of the improvement, I thought we were better in the red zone than we were a week ago. I think we were better on third down as well. So that stuff was all really exciting to me because those were areas of emphasis for us, you know, this last week of practice.
All right, that is Brent Brennan. And coming up next, we're going to go in the huddle. I think we're going to change the name of that to DBU. We're going to go to DBU coming up here.
Tony's a little late, man. I don't know if we're trying to get. I'm trying to see if J-Dub can take two.
Is Tony supposed to be live with us?
Yeah,
Tony's live.
Yeah.
Okay, so hopefully we get Tony here next live. It is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. We're coming to you live from the U of A Mall, Arizona, Kansas State tonight here at the stadium. Kickoff with Brian Jeffries, Lamont Lovett, and Mackenzie Hamilton coming up at 6 o'clock. You are listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
That's the Wildcats Offensive Scouting Report. The Offensive Scouting Report is brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Sean Furrier here for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Whether you're new to Arizona or you've been driving here for decades, you're driving in the world's largest video game. Stopping, starting, turning, heating up, and cooling down. And that's just your afternoon commute. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's 14 award-winning locations have been helping drivers just like you get home safely for over 60 years. With top quality tire brands, no hidden extras, and one low price, Jack Furrier has everything you need to stay in the game. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway and discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
Step into a world where rewards never end. Welcome to Club Soul at Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun. Every moment brings excitement. Every visit unlocks exclusive perks, free play, dining discounts, and more. From high-stakes action to luxurious experiences, your rewards grow with every play. Join today for endless benefits and unforgettable moments. Club Soul. Play more, earn more, experience more. Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun. Enterprise of the Boscoyaki Tribe.
The days of waiting weeks or even months for new countertops is over. The Window Depot has a wide selection of in-stock granite and quartz countertops so you can upgrade your kitchen or bathroom now. From sleek, modern quartz to timeless granite, we have the perfect countertop to match your style and budget. And it's ready to take home today. Our team is here to help you choose the perfect countertop at the lowest price and get it home fast. Visit a location near you or shop online at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Discover your perfect vehicle at Cactus Auto, Tucson's trusted destination for certified pre-owned cars for over 30 years. They offer a wide range of certified pre-owned vehicles featuring the brands and models you love. Their finance experts are here to provide you with top dollar trade-in offers and help you find the best financing options, regardless of your credit history. With approved credit, enjoy no payments for up to 90 days. Trust Cactus Auto for quality, affordable pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, all backed by incredible savings and a 7-day exchange guarantee. Visit cactusauto.com.
There's never a good time for plumbing issues.
No.
Honey, my parents are here.
Oh, man.
Don't worry. With Drain Masters in Tucson, not only do you get local, professional, full-service plumbing with 24/7 scheduled or emergency service, you get a lifetime transferable warranty on all house water repiping. So this...
They brought my aunts and uncles, too.
...is gonna be fine. Drain Masters, we do it all. And now offering financing. Solid service, fair price, guaranteed. DrainMastersTucson.com. Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilder.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Our Window Depot coverage of UA football continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the tight end Glenn Howell, and the captain Kelvin Eafon. Let's go in the huddle with Arizona letterman Glenn Howell. In the Huddle with Howell is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Kaiser, with over 30 years of serving Southern Arizona.
Welcome into this week's edition of In the Huddle with Howell, presented by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. I'm Glenn Howell, U of A tight end, class of 1985. And our guest today, it's going to be DBU here. We got Tony Neely from the class of 1982 and Van Brandon from the class of 1981. Guys, how you doing?
Doing fine, Glenn.
How you doing, Glenn?
All right. You guys doing well? Hey, man, isn't it ironic that it's Coach Smith's birthday today, that we're wearing the helmets that we used to wear in the 80s.
Yeah, we're going back old school, and I actually just saw that on Facebook this morning, and I'm like, it's poetic that it's happening today.
It is, isn't it? What do you think about that, Van?
I couldn't believe it when I saw that on Facebook. I was like, the old blockade still out there.
So, we're happy in the huddle. What we do is that we talk about what you guys are doing now. We go back into the memory bank and talk about when you guys played and all that kind of stuff. And so, Van, tell us. Let's start off with you, Van. What have you been doing since you left University of Arizona, and what are you doing now?
Right now, I'm working for Coca-Cola, and I'm in charge of distribution for the Southern Arizona. Been doing that for the past 10 years. But since I left college, it's mostly been distribution.
All right, right on. That's good. And what about you, Tony?
After leaving U of A, I was played in the USFL for a year, and after football, I majored in criminal justice. I was a police officer in the city of Dallas for over 10 years. Retired for a little while, came back, and I was a police officer at Grand Canyon University, along as security director, assistant security director with the Phoenix for 18 years.
Oh, really? Yeah, that was great. When up there in for the Phoenix Suns, the NBA.
Yes.
Yes. How was that? It was different.
It was different. It was different, and it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with that organization.
Yeah, that's great. Van, and you're with Coca-Cola, right?
Yeah, I've been with Coke for 10 years now.
Yeah, and
so hopefully you guys are drinking Coke right now.
Yeah. I'll tell you right now, if we go anywhere to a restaurant and they're not serving Coke, Van ain't drinking no sodas or nothing, man. He always tell you, I ain't gonna drink that, man. He's a loyal Coca-Cola guy. So guys, what I wanted to talk to you guys about, the DBs have been playing really, really physical, knocking guys out, being really physical. It's something that is really important, I think, in the legacy of University of Arizona. Do you guys think, when you look back at and when you played and the way they're playing now, do you think that the game has changed since you've been playing DB back in the 80s?
Well, the way I look at it is, when we played, the scheme of football was smash mouth. It was constantly run. So that's what we were brought up on, and we tried to bring that physical nature to our game and that mindset to the U of A at that time period. Today it's more of a spread out offense, and the passing game is more prevalent. So those are the major differences that I see.
Van?
When we played, it was definitely run first. I mean, we played against a lot of great running backs. I mean, we played against Charles White, Freddie McNeil, Darren Nelson, Marquis Flowers, James Padman. So at that point in time, we were playing cover 2, and you had to be tough on the line. And you were taking on linemen coming around the corner. So you had to be a lot physical.
So you guys were more a force. So you guys are looking at force as almost as an extra linebacker.
Yeah, definitely. You had to be a bigger defensive back when we played, because you're taking on big tight ends, offensive linemen that are pulling around trying to take you out. So you had to be ready for that.
Because you look at the size of you guys, like Tony, you're like 6'3". Van, you're like 6'1", 6 foot. You had Marcellus. You have Marcellus Green and Streeter.
Mark Streeter.
Streeter and Liggins. Yeah,
Reggie Ware.
Yeah, Reggie Ware. I mean, you had some guys that were not small guys. You know, Randy Robbins, he was like 6'2.5", 6'3".
Al Gross, 6'4".
Al Gross, 6'4". I mean, you had some big guys. What do you think as a group as DBs you believe was the benefit of you guys being so physical for your defense? How do you think that helped your defense?
One of the things we did versus what they don't really do now, we played a cover 2. We didn't let linemen off the ball at that point in time. We always jammed them. Receivers didn't get a free release. Now they get a free release because he's passing on. We didn't have that. We jammed guys off the line and played man at the same time. That's a big difference with what they don't do now versus what we did back in the day.
Another thing was we had the mentality that if they were going to come across the middle, it was a different time back then. You were going to pay if you got your hands on the ball. We were either going to intercept it, or we were going to bust up that play, or if he caught the ball, he's going to make sure he's going to be looking at us when he comes across the middle again.
Tell us what your technique was as you were coached in the 80s of how you're supposed to hit a guy when he's there. It's pretty raw. I want people to know how the technique was, how raw it was, about how you guys. What was your technique when you had a guy coming over the middle?
You kind of just sized him up. It wasn't anything really dirty. You just
No, it was the game. It was the game at that time.
You just sized the guy up, and you wanted to make sure that he knew you were there, and that took his concentration of trying to catch the ball. So it gave us advantage defense.
And Van, what was your technique you guys were taught?
We would just pop and run through the guy. He came over the middle. That was a bad decision. Back when he played, we would run straight through him.
And what was it? Were you guys leading with the helmet, right?
We were.
Don't be afraid to say it now. I mean, that's where it was.
We were leading with the helmet back then. We definitely led with the helmet back then.
Absolutely, absolutely. I remember. I mean, in high school when I played defense, it was like you hit. It was the butt of your head. It was the butt. It was your forehead. That's what you lead when you were tackling.
Yeah, you just wanted to hit and take your body through that individual. And 9 times out of 10, we won on that confrontation.
Yeah, and
it was different. It was totally different.
Who was your DB coach?
Initially, when we first go, Ben.
We had Ballacenti was the coach. We had Mo Ankney.
Yeah,
was one of the coaches. Well, those two were great coaches.
And you had Mo Ankney?
I had Bob Ballacenti and Mo Ankney.
Mo Ankney, yeah, because Mo was our defensive coordinator when I got there in '83. So he was kind of crazy. Mo was very loud and
loud.
very. He was getting up there. He was making sure that guys were hitting guys because when I was there, we had Randy, we had Greg Turner, we had Don Beans, we had some other guys, Lyndon Brown, Alan Durden, all those guys, and then Chuck came along.
Martin Rudolph,
yeah.
Right.
Martin would sneak up on you, man.
Yeah, exactly.
If you weren't looking, he'd come up and try to lay some hat on you.
Yeah, if you weren't willing to hit back then, you weren't going to be out on the field.
Yeah, and during the '80s, guys, you guys played against who was the toughest wide receiver group that you guys faced?
And here's the thing, I couldn't even remember the wide receivers. I can tell you the running backs because it was definitely more running backs when we were in college. It wasn't necessarily a lot of the top-notch receivers you have today. It was the running backs.
Yeah, so the running backs, name some of the running backs you were going against.
We went against Charles White, USC. We went against Marcus Allen, USC. We went against Freeman McNeil, UCLA. We went against Darren Nelson, Stanford. We went against James Hadnot, Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Gerald Riggs.
Yeah, Gerald Riggs. Yep. Yeah, there was some great backs then, and that is true because there wasn't as many wide receivers. They didn't throw the ball as much.
Right.
They were doing a lot of running, and the game has changed and stuff. So, guys, if you've been watching the games, what do you like about the DBs that are playing now?
From what I've seen so far, it looks like the DBs are getting a little bit bigger again, and they're physical, and they want to bring on that tradition that we've had from the past.
Van?
I think they're athletic and they're fast. Today would be a challenge for them to see if they can step up against better talent today. This will be a big challenge for them.
Our guest today is Van Brandon, class of 1981, and Tony Neely, defensive back, class of 82, is our guest in the huddle. Brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Kaiser, with over 30 years of serving Southern Arizona. One question I always ask the guys that come on that are a little bit old school: could you play now in the game the way it's played now, without being able to touch those little baby receivers, okay, would you be able to play now in the game today? Van?
Yes. The biggest difference now is that our fundamentals were a heck of a lot better back then than these guys have now.
Okay.
That's the difference. I think we could have played in any era because of our.
Tony?
Yeah, I think when you look at it, football is football, and any era that you enter, you're going to make adjustments, but that's all part of the game, and we will be able to adjust to what they're doing now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the same thing. I mean, you know, the tight ends, like when I think about the tight ends now, the tight ends are a little faster than I was when I played, but I still got to block. You know, you still got to block. So I think I could block, do that, and be able to play now. But you know, they're bigger. They're my size now. Because when I first got there, as they switched to tight end, I was the biggest tight end in the Pac-12.
Right.
Because I was 200. Because I was coming from a guard, I was 265 pounds, and there wasn't no 265-pound guard. So I had to lose weight the next year, and I came back at 235 as a better tight end, be able to be more mobile. But that's the difference, you know, of the game at that time. What do you guys predict for today's game?
I'm going to say U of A 28. 17.
28-17. What about you, Van?
I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think 21-14 U of A.
21-15?
21-14.
21-14. Wow. All right, guys. I really appreciate you guys coming in. Our thanks to Wildcat football alumni Tony Neely and Van Brandon for joining us on this week's In the Huddle with Howell.
Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for having me on, Glenn.
Bear down, guys.
Bear down.
All right, bear down.
That's In the Huddle with Howell. In the Huddle with Glenn Howell is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Kaiser, with over 30 years of serving Southern Arizona. Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona football is just getting started. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 1 of the pregame show is brought to you by Advantage Air and Mechanical, Cactus Auto Company, Casino del Sol, Done Right Services, Drain Masters, First Chiropractic, Idaho Central Credit Union, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, Royal GMC, Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, The Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Oh, no, not the sink. Not now.
Plumbing issues can put your life on pause. But with anytime emergency scheduling, the neighborly Done Right promise, and more, Mr. Rooter Plumbing will have your life flowing again in no time.
All fixed. Much better.
Mr. Rooter is proud to cheer on the Cats. Mention this ad for 10% off any plumbing service. A win for the whole family. Bear down, Arizona.
Mr. Rooter Plumbing, a neighborly company.
Graduating from high school, I realized that I didn't have all the tools I needed to help me in the next chapter of my life. The Earn to Learn program has helped me pursue my passion for early childhood education with confidence, and the financial education supported by Hughes Federal Credit Union has been invaluable to prepare me for my university career and the world beyond.
Find out how Hughes and Earn to Learn join forces to support student success at hughesfcu.org/earn-to-learn. Insured by NCUA. Certain restrictions apply.
Ready to score a new vehicle? Whether you are looking for a new car, truck, or electric vehicle, at Royal Kia, we know exactly what you want. A quality vehicle at a great price and to be treated fairly. We stand by our transparent online pricing, offer a 72-hour buyback guarantee, and you work with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $589 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus, or royalkia.com.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
You mean they don't use yesterday's newspaper?
No, They use the latest in technology and innovation to eliminate bugs, bees, termites, weeds, and more.
So no as seen on TV salt guns?
Nope. Only solutions that target insect biology, using chemistry to help protect the environment, people, and their pets.
You are so smart.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Broadway in Tucson presents the 20th anniversary season featuring 7 Tucson premieres, including Disney's Beauty and the Beast, Hell's Kitchen, Moulin Rouge, The Wiz, Back to the Future, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and more. Secure your signature season tickets today and get the best seats at the lowest prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your 2025-2026 season tickets today.
Advantage Air Mechanical, the team you can trust. Call 792-9400.
When it comes to the comfort and indoor air quality of your home and office, Advantage Air Mechanical has you covered. Breathing healthy air and having reliable air conditioning is important. If you or someone you know is in need of air conditioning services or a new system installation, we are here to help. Advantage Air Mechanical, 792-9400. AZROC 214570.
Day in and day out, we're inundated with commercials asking to review your portfolio or telling you to get a second opinion. This is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management, and I want to share the advice I give people every day. Talk to 3 different advisors at 3 different firms. It's important to understand their differences and find someone you can trust. I want Meridian to be one of your 3, and then you will decide who is best for you. To learn more, call us at 719-1433 today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Wildcats Nation, are you ready?
Fafita, gun, takes the snap, firing, corner of the end zone. Cop, touchdown, Arizona.
That's a strike by Noah Fafita.
Short drop, looking right. Here comes the pressure. They sack him, get him to the ground. Oh, perfect timing for the Wildcats. Kick is up and it's blocked. Wildcats block it and they pick it up. And I don't think anybody's going to catch him. And it's picked off. Trey Stooks throws to the back of the end zone. And it's caught. Samuelson, touchdown, Arizona.
Bear down, Cats. Let's go. Our Window Depot coverage of UA football continues with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We are counting down to kickoff for Arizona football. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Yoki out of the shotgun. Fires over the top, tipped up in the air, picked off. Arizona with the football the other way, inside the 30, down to the 20, still alive at the 15, and out of bounds shy of the 10-yard line. Genesis Smith with the pick, and the return sets up the Wildcats deep in the red zone.
Genesis Smith, just being his ball hawking self. We are very accustomed to seeing him do that in practice, and we knew eventually he was going to start getting those in the games.
Genesis had 3 interceptions last season. That'll be his first of 2025. Sets up the Wildcats at the 12-yard line, first down, leading 17-0.
Well, one step read, I was a little late to it, so then I was just breaking downhill, coming to make the tackle, and it popped off his hands. Just had to finish the play.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, hour number 2 of our show. David Kelly out here on the U of A Mall, joined by Kelvin Eafon and Glenn Howell. We've got our defensive scouting report. We'll take a look at what's happening with the Wildcats on the D side of the ball under Danny Gonzalez, brought to you by Rocky & K, a master plan community designed by nature. We'll check your scores as well from around college football and the U of A. We will also dive into the return of Gunnar Maldonado here to Tucson. Played a few years on the Wildcats after transferring from Northwestern. So he is now on his 3rd team called the Wildcats, having started at Northwestern, transferring to Arizona. and now Kansas State. The front name might have changed. The last name has stayed the same.
He didn't have to change that Wildcat
Yeah,
tattoo.
yeah, exactly.
He didn't have to change that Wildcat tattoo.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Dang.
Captain's Corner, Marquis Flowers is going to join us from U of A safety and linebacker from the Rich Rodriguez era. And, of course, we'll also dive into your best bets, your pets of the game. Who will be that Kansas State Wildcat that'll get underneath the Arizona Wildcats skin tonight? All of that is still to come. Let's talk a little bit about Danny Gonzalez's crew.
Let's look at the Wildcats' defensive scouting report for today's game.
Short drop, looking right. Here comes the pressure. They sack him. Oh, perfect timing for the Wildcats. They needed that.
Today's defensive scouting report is brought to you by Rocking K. Rocking K, Tucson's premier master planned community. This is Arizona football on Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, you heard the interception there by Genesis Smith off the top. His first of the season as the Wildcats continue to be ball hawkers in this first 2 weeks of the season. Will that continue tonight is going to be the question. I've mentioned at the top of the show there was a little bit of a delay, 2 hours in last weekend's game. How did that affect the Arizona defense? Let's hear from Max Harris, linebacker.
First thing is, I want to shout out the fans for staying. The lightning delay, I know that's, tough to stay through. But as far as, the players in the locker room just staying mission-focused, that was the main thing that we were focused on. It's going to hit, and it comes in different ways, and, just staying mission-focused.
I like that term there, mission-focused.
He sounds mature.
Very military.
He sounds very mature.
Yeah.
Mature and like a kind of a leader kind of guy. That's what I like. I like his voice. I like his the way he's just confident, which is good.
Yeah, locked in.
Yep.
Locked in. That's the first word that came to my mind, understanding that, hey, we're here to do something. We're here to make a name for ourselves. These guys don't have a lot of time. This is their first opportunity playing at this level, and you can tell that they're, embracing
Come ride with me.
Embracing
Come ride with me, man. That's what it is. You get a couple of guys doing that, and then you got to everybody got to get on board and just ride.
Max Harris, a guy, again, who's been a performer at every single level that he's been in, and he has played at a number of them, now getting his first opportunity here to come up to Power 5 and taking advantage of that as a starter. Let's hear more from Max as well as Genesis Smith on their top takeaways from this defense over the first 2 games of the season.
I feel like we've shown that we're going to fly to the ball. We try to get as many heads to the ball as possible, before that whistle's blown. And I feel like we're showing that we're relentless.
Yeah, I feel like just honing in on swarming to the ball. That's just been a big key for us as a defense, and I feel like we've emphasized that in the first 2 games, and we got to continue to do so.
Yeah, speaking of Smiths, one Smith that may be out of tonight's ball game, Trey Smith, who left with an injury last week. So the Wildcats not likely to have one of their big-time edge rushers tonight in this first huge game of the season. Also, Kedrick Risino is doubtful for tonight's game as well at that running back position. So 2 big losses for this defense. No Trey Smith. Who do you want to see step up in that role there?
Yeah, that's difficult for not having Trey, because I was really looking forward to him to play against a better team
and get some redemption from last year.
Exactly,
from on that end. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it was just not good last year for that game for him.
Yeah,
but I really would like to see these guys, the other guys that are coming in, that are just they're going to have opportunity. You can't really name a guy. It's going to be a bunch of guys. I think there's a lot of guys that are going to have an opportunity to play.
Malachi Bailey, one of those guys on the edge, obviously. Right now, in terms of the depth chart, you've got Mason Pesse behind Trey Smith, but he's a true freshman. Malachi Bailey, who's been very active. He's had negative plays in both of the first 2 ball games. I think he's obviously going to be the veteran young man, veteran transfer who gets the first shot at coming up and trying to fill that defensive end position there.
Yeah, and they might move some guys around, that are going to be able to play. It made a different position. I wouldn't mind seeing Julian out there too.
Julian Savinaya.
He's pretty quick, and he's got that fast twitch, and that could be a position that he might be out there too. So you don't know who they're going to put out there.
And I know Riley Wilson is behind Chase Kennedy, but I wouldn't mind on some passing down seeing him over there because he seemed like the type of guy that got that hard edge, that be able, to be
on fire.
to be able to turn that corner and make some stuff happen.
Well, they were very impressed with him. He got in the second half of that game last weekend, and it really was interesting because I've always categorized those FCS games kind of as exhibition games of sort because you've got the talent to win those games. I mean, they threw Rhino top of toe type, perfect game for him to come back at that right tackle position and get some reps, having not played for a year, and start to build up because you could tell he was gassed, and they said he was gassed at times out there.
Yeah, you got to get the reps in because it's totally different from playing in practice and in a game, man.
Oh, yeah.
Because your adrenaline's flowing, you got the crowd, you got a guy that doesn't know anything about you. So you're like kind of excited, like you could go because the guy you were going against for the last 4 or 5 weeks, he knows everything move. He knows the move where I hit him in the stomach, and
he knows you only bench 275.
Yeah, exactly.
He only bench 275.
Yeah, exactly. The other guy, the guy against he'll be 350. And you're going against a guy that's not that good, but you got to be able to be ready. And if you get that call, man, this is the opportunity, man. This is where I think that these guys, we're going to really see who we got as far as depth.
Absolutely. In terms of the defensive side of it in this game, you've got, again, we'll talk about it because I think it's the number one storyline, and that's the quarterback, Avery Johnson, his ability to beat you with his arm as well as beat you with his legs. Zone read quarterback option. Brent Brennan, how are you going to defend that tonight?
Yeah, they can't get sucked in. They have to play. They have to contain the quarterback. There's somebody responsible for him, right? And so we have to be smart with that. We have to be great with our eyes, especially, we mentioned Avery earlier, because he's such an effective runner, right? So we got to do a great job with that. I know our defense is coaching the hell out of that, and I'm confident we'll get it fixed.
Coach, in terms of that zone read defense, when the quarterback keeps the ball and you're the first guy that's supposed to be responsible gets sucked in, what's important for that defensive back who's kind of left out there like Michael Dansby was in that first instance in the game the other night?
Yeah, I mean, I think, the receiver's supposed to be blocking Michael Dansby too, right? So he's got to navigate both those things. To me, I would say that one of the ways that you eliminate that is by getting population to the football, and that's red line, right? So if we are living the red line and we are all over it, then if there is a mistake, we can hopefully erase it by playing with fanatical effort and getting people there and getting the ball carried on the ground.
Brent Brennan, the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats at red line, and that's, again, population to the football. We talked about it, all hats on deck in that situation. He mentioned that there's one guy that's always responsible. Is that generally, it sounded like Danny Gonzalez was indicating that might have been Dalton Johnson who had that responsibility, who may have that responsibility. Yeah. Is that normally a safety's responsibility in that situation?
Well, not necessarily, because if you have a linebacker out there too, he might have responsibility for the quarterback
or the DN.
But the DN. But you got to make sure that you got to stay square. You can't be turning your shoulders. That's what they want you to do. They want you to be sucked in with that. Put it in the belly. So then you're coming in like this, and then he pulls it out, and he's around you. There's no way you're going to be able to turn and get outside. Contain. You got to be sucked in, square to the line of scrimmage. You got to have your shoulders square to the line of scrimmage, and freaking tack the ball. And then if he doesn't give it, and then we got to make him pay, which I like about our DB hitters. They got to make him pay when he runs the ball.
I think it's what Coach said. Population, having a crowd to the ball is really going to be the key because I think he's too athletic for the ends. Right. I think even if the ends are in perfect position, he can make them miss or he can run around them with his athletic ability.
Just set him up so he can have his friends come and help him.
Exactly. Keep him inside. Your job is to keep him inside and don't let him get outside. So don't get sucked in. Now, the bigger thing is I'm going to be looking for, and I'm sure Coach wasn't going to let us know, is if they're going to have a spy on him, that means an athletic guy who has the speed to be able to stay with him.
That's why I think it's more of a defensive back probably that's going to be in that situation.
That'd be the best guy on our team, even though I think Max Harris has the type of talent and speed.
He
but
can do it.
He need to be concerned more with stopping the run because their tailbacks are pretty good. So,
and they got Edwards back now.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see how we deal with this quarterback run because implication or if we're able to win this game.
One guy that knows how good a runner Avery Johnson is his former teammate, now Arizona Wildcat, Trey Spivey.
I think that he's a fast thinker. Like, he's good on his feet. He makes good decisions. I believe that he's also a good leader. He takes control of offense when he needs to, and he just instills confidence in the rest of the players. So I think that that's one thing to always keep in mind about him. When we're going against him is just knowing that he's smart on the field. He has a really good sense of what's happening on the field. He's a good player.
That 111-yard rushing performance for Avery Johnson, that's the only game that he's ever run for over 100 yards, and it came against the Arizona Wildcats last season. His numbers in terms of running the football this year, not as prolific as they were a year ago, so we will see if he if Matt Wells, the new offensive coordinator, tries to get that going tonight based on what happened last year when he faced off against this Wildcat team.
Well, you know what happens a lot of times with those guys? It's kind of like with Noah. When you come back after having a great year, the guys want to stand in the pocket and show their NFL ability. And that's what I've been watching with Avery Johnson. I feel like he's standing in the pocket and really trying to operate and show that he can be an NFL quarterback, but in reality, to be him best self, which I want him to keep doing it. I hope at least this week he's trying to prove.
That's what the commentators were saying
in
the game.
I didn't even know that. But I'm watching him, and it just seems like these guys get a little shy of running because they want to prove that they can throw the ball. And I just think that if he has to have the threat of the run, which forces the defense to go to man and open up him some one-on-one opportunities to take shots.
Last year he averaged 5.4 yards per carry. This year that number is down a full yard to 4.3. But again, and this is their fourth game of the season because they went over and played in week 0 in Dublin, Ireland, losing to Iowa State. A couple of games against FCS schools, or FCS and then a group of 5 school in Army. So they have played a lot of football.
They won't play them again
this season. Probably not.
Yeah,
probably
Iowa State the first game.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only thing, DK, about this is I feel like they've played better competition to this point.
Absolutely.
So that gets you a little bit of scab. So you're a little bit, you're a little bit more tough and ready to go. So it's gonna be a big game for our guys.
It's gonna be
tonight.
physical.
Yeah.
It's gonna be real physical today. I'm telling you, because I keep on emphasizing this, that their D quarter was probably just having them go out and fight during the week, because they want them to fight, because they want to be more physical, just to get a little tougher, because Army was beating them up.
All right, he used to be on, but now he's on the Kansas State defense. We'll hear from Gunnar Maldonado coming up next. That is, though, your first look at your Arizona Wildcats defense for tonight.
And that's a look at the Wildcats defensive scouting report for today's game. Today's defensive scouting report is brought to you by Rocking K. Rocking K, Tucson's premier master planned community. This is Arizona football on Wildcats Radio 1290. Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona football is getting you closer to kickoff. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 2 of the pregame show is brought to you by Acclaimed Drain, Bear Down Roofing, Dorado Rock, Essential Pest Control, Goodfellas AC, Hughes Federal Credit Union, Johnson Manley Company, JT Auto, Lexus of Tucson, Mr. Rooter, Recon Auto Detail, Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Rocking K, a master planned community designed by nature. And by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed. Life well lived.
Ready to score a new vehicle? Whether you are looking for a new car, truck, or electric vehicle, at Royal Kia, we know exactly what you want. A quality vehicle at a great price and to be treated fairly. We stand by our transparent online pricing, offer a 72-hour buyback guarantee, and you work with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $589 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus, or royalkia.com.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Visit Lennar's 2 communities in Rockin' K, with home savings up to $25,000 and limited time interest rate and closing cost incentives on select move-in ready homes. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Looking for top-notch lumber and framing? Johnson Manley Lumber has been your trusted expert since 1970, specializing in both residential and commercial projects. Our experienced teams, cutting-edge technology, and reliable supply chain ensure your framing is on time and on budget every time. We're proud to be employee-owned and community-rooted in Tucson. Learn more at johnsonmanley.net. Proud supporter of the University of Arizona radio broadcast. Go Wildcats.
Every day is a balancing act, with work, family, goals, all asking for more. It helps to have tools that meet you at every step and a team that will always be by your side. We're ICCU. We're a credit union that has been helping members achieve financial success since 1940. In fact, we put member success first, one by one, year after year, for 85 years and counting. Now, we're here for you, Tucson. Join us, ICCU.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
September is here. The kids are in school, football has started, and it's still hot in the old Pueblo. Picture Rock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing is your trusted, local, and family-owned air conditioning and plumbing service provider. We have been serving Tucson and the surrounding areas for over 24 years. Call Picture Rock's Cooling 520-492-0748 and go to picturerockscooling.com to set up your next appointment online.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
Hi, this is Tim Couch, retired NFL quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, partner at Meridian Wealth Management, and proud member of Meridian's Tucson Advisory Business Council. It's my favorite time of year, college football season. I've always been a proud Wildcat. As our firm has grown in Tucson with Ruben and Natalie Fernandez, I now cheer on 2 Wildcats every year. My alma mater of Kentucky, of course, and our U of A Cats. Here's to a great football season, and go Cats.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
JT Auto, where their customers are family. Stop by their newest East Side location, conveniently located at 6947 East 22nd, just west of Cole. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guarantee, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where their customers are family. 372-7704. That's 372-4. Or jtautoaz.com.
Our Window Depot coverage of UA football continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the tight end Glenn Howell, and the captain Kelvin Eafon.
Arnold fires the pass, and it's knocked up in the air, intercepted by Arizona. Cats with the ball back the other way. Out to the 30, out to the 40. Maldonado down the near sideline with a posse, one man to beat. Maldonado at the 10, at the 5. Touchdown, Arizona. Gunnar Maldonado goes to the house, and the Cats are back in it.
Pick 6. Big time play, Gunnar Maldonado.
None of that tonight.
One of the, if not the biggest plays in Arizona football. And it's interesting. We talk about, when you talk about big plays in the history, it seems like so many of those big plays have been defensive plays in the history of this program. I mean, other than your guy Trung, taking it 4 or 5 deep from long distance against ASU. But you think of obviously James DeBow at the goal line, Chuck Cecil with his big interception, Gunnar Maldonado to win a bowl game.
Max kicking field goals at the end.
Exactly.
Max kicking Notre Dame, kicking ASU. 3 times at ASU.
Yeah, but would you put that on a pedestal as one of the top defensive plays in program
The Notre Dame
history?
kick, I would.
I'm talking about Gunner's interception return.
Oh, interception return?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd put it up there as one of the all-time best. I think that, I don't know. I don't know if I would do that.
I mean, you haven't won a whole lot of bowl games.
Yeah,
this program has not won a whole lot of bowl games, and that helped them win one of them.
Yeah. that would, I don't know.
That we may have to put that up for
debate.
Question of the day.
Yeah.
I may get that up as our question of the day and put some of the other top plays in program history up against that and see what people have to say. Gunnar Maldonado is back. He only has 4 tackles so far in the first 3 games. And his PFF ranking is not real high. In fact, it's at the low end in terms of defensive backs in all of Power 5 football. Let's hear from Gunnar Maldonado on what he was looking for in the portal when he decided to leave U of A and choose a third college.
Just a program with a strong culture, coaches who have been there, and just a place I would fit good in. I felt like I would fit good in, so that's basically what it was.
What played into the decision to enter the transfer portal for your last year?
I had a great career at Arizona. I love everybody over there. I think they can say the same thing about me. I think it was just it was my last year, and I wanted to be somewhere that I was confident, I'd be in a good position to have my best year, hopefully. So.
What were your memories of Bill Snyder Family Stadium last season?
Real loud, real packed, real good energy, strong fan base, just a good atmosphere.
Playing a role in your decision?
Yeah, I mentioned earlier, it was definitely easier to, come somewhere I know that the culture and the community is all behind the football program, because I haven't been somewhere where it was that strong yet, so that was definitely intriguing for sure.
All right, so maybe some subtle shots there from Gunnar Maldonado.
Yeah.
A fan base that's up there among the upper echelon, a coaching staff that's been there before. I mean, again, there's subtle ways to get your point across, and I think he may have done that just there.
And was he fighting for time?
Well, what it was he's a fish guy.
Yeah.
He was a fish guy. So his coach left. He stayed to try to see if he can, right.
Yeah, and he didn't get asked to go.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
It didn't work out. They didn't play well. And I think, going to Kansas State, seeing that, the team and how all the fans go and everything, it intrigued him. I mean, so I felt like he told the truth about how he felt.
Yep.
Brent Brennan, his thoughts on this week.
I love Gunnar Maldonado. He's an awesome young man. He's a great kid. He's a great Wildcat. So I got nothing but love for Gunnar.
There you go. Did not go deep, but a strong statement there by Brent Brennan about Gunnar Maldonado. Genesis Smith obviously played with Gunnar. That was going to be a guy that he was going to have to compete with for playing time on this year's team. Coming back, obviously, off of an injury as well, which was another part of the story. Gunnar with the knee injury last year having to come back, and Genesis Smith this week talked about his former teammate, Gunnar Maldonado.
That's my dog. That's one of my best friends when he was here. Great dude. Paved the way for me, honestly. We roomed together every time we were in the hotel, so he was a great dude, great role model for me. But it's wartime, man. We gotta get it in.
Wartime, as Genesis said. And you're not going to find anybody that has a negative thing to say about Gunnar Maldonado.
They're not going to.
Solid teammate.
Yeah, solid teammate, guy that, good luck to him. good luck to him for 11 games. Okay? Okay?
And it sounded like he made a business decision.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Kenneth Smith was going to be starting.
Yeah, exactly.
You know
exactly.
what I mean? So he was either going to have to make a position change.
Yes.
You know, or figure out something else to do. So, yeah, no, I totally get it now.
That's what I said. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask again if you think that Gunnar Maldonado's interception against Oklahoma is one of those plays that is at the top of the all-time playlist in Arizona history. I want you to text me. Text me whether you think it is or isn't. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. Send me your text or hit us up on Twitter at Wildcats1290. Where does that play by Gunnar Maldonado stand in the lexicon of all-time great plays here at the University of Arizona? Gunnar Maldonado played on the defensive side. He didn't play linebacker, but Danny Gonzalez got to know him a little bit last year, but he already knew Gunnar Maldonado pretty well.
Let's go back all the way to 2018. I was Gunnar's first P4 offer at the school up north. So I've known Gunnar for a long time. Gunnar coming off a knee injury, having to compete with a guy who's 100% completely healthy, and I would love to have Gunnar here because when you have multiple guys that have that much experience, there's so much more you can do with packages, whether you want to put 6 DBs in there. The dollar package they had in 23 was 7. But being an every down player, knowing the wall he was against, he decided that going to Kansas State would give him a better opportunity to have that refresh start, which as a person, I absolutely love Gunnar. And I'm super excited. And any kid that decides to give themselves a better chance, like the city of Tucson should still love Gunnar Maldonado. Don't be disappointed because he chose to go a route that he thinks is best for him. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing Gunnar, just to give him a hug and tell him how proud of him I am that he busted his tail to get back from a knee injury, much like Traden, and be able to see him play on the field. I mean, it's fantastic. Love that kid.
I love when he says the school up north. He never says the school. He never says the rest.
ASU.
No, never says it.
I'm sure when he was at ASU, he used to call us the school down south.
Yeah, exactly. I'm telling you.
That goes.
I'm telling you.
No, I get it.
I'm telling you.
Gunnar, obviously, again, you mentioned coming back from that injury. We talked about that. Traden also coming back from his injury, still questionable, so not sure if we'll see him tonight as well for the first time this season.
And I want to speak on that. I want to speak on that. That's the tough side of football, right? You done gave your all, and you feel like I've gave my knee, and now you're going to start somebody in front of me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just kind of how it goes. And a lot of times you get a little bitter taste, and you figure out, you know what, I just want to start new. I'd rather go somewhere where I don't know the people and the guys starting over me instead of being my understudy.
Yeah.
You know, that has to be tough, you know, for a guy that was playing under you and you taught him and you know, you basically raised him, and now he's taking your job.
Taking your
know,
JOB.
It's a tough thing to sit around and take lightly. So, yeah, man, I understand. A lot of these times when guys leave, it ain't all for money, people. You know, sometimes it's understanding of that, you know, you don't quite got the job you used to have.
Yeah.
You know, and you're trying to go do a little bit better for yourself.
All right, coming up a little bit later, we'll hear from the other side of the story. Trey Spivey coming over from Kansas State to Arizona, and we'll let Kelvin decide. We asked the question, who won that trade earlier this week. We'll let Kelvin decide who's gotten the better of that so far, coming up a little bit later when we hear more from Trey Spivey. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. The Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com.
Coming to you live from the U of A Mall. It is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. I'm David Kelly along with Kelvin Eafon and J.W. Madden. Let's bring you up to date on what is going on around the rest of the country.
Let's take a look at what's happening today around the rest of the country. The Wildcats Radio 1290 Game Day Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, Arizona's leading injury law firm.
Traore, the tight end, in motion, slot right. Chapin throws
Touchdown.
right side. Thompson catches it inside the numbers 20. Angling left 10, 5, Davis-Wade Stadium explodes as the Bulldogs go back in front thanks to a bomb to Brennan.
Yeah, it was not a good ending for that school up north last Saturday night at Mississippi State as they took an L 24-20 on a play, guys that got away from them at the end there on that big bomb. You guys, Glenn, you and a bunch of folks were debating that. You and Dragon Ball were debating who was at fault on that play last Saturday night.
Yeah, and I think I was right.
So was it not the corner? Was it the over-the-top safety?
They were playing man.
Yeah, well,
they were
playing man. Yeah.
So if you got man, you got
to
man.
stay with the man.
Yeah, you got to stay with your man. That's
pretty
who cares
simple.
who cares if you pass it off to the safety over the top?
There's no safety there.
Yeah, but they should have been playing as 3 deep. And then let everything get underneath.
Right.
So, but they wanted to play man because you know why they played man? Because they thought they were better than they were, that they can handle them anywhere, and they got bit. They tried to say that, you know what, our guys are better than your guys. You guys can't beat us.
Not that play.
Nope.
Only one game in the top 25 tonight, and that is number 22 Indiana will host one of their in-state FCS teams, Indiana State. That'll be that game. In fact, will get underway here in about 26 minutes.
Larry Bird played in that game.
I don't think Indiana State is 2-0 coming in, but I don't think Larry Bird is showing up tonight for the Sycamores in Bloomington tonight. Also, there's one other game in the Big 12 today, and that is a conference game. Colorado will be on the road against Houston. The Cougars are off to a surprising 2-0 start to this season. So that game will get underway at about 4:30 national TV ESPN. Other games this weekend in the Big 12, Arizona State comes back home. They'll take on Texas State. That was a pretty big ball game last year down at Texas State. Samford, not Stanford, but Samford from down in South Carolina, they'll visit Baylor. Oregon State is on the road at number 21 Texas Tech this weekend. Virginia and Pittsburgh in Morgantown, what they call backyard brawl, I believe is what they call that one there. Pitt comes in at 2-0. West Virginia coming off that loss to the Ohio Bobcats last weekend.
Yeah, that wasn't good for Rich Rod, man.
Not at all. Not at all. Northwestern State is at Cincinnati this weekend. Iowa State, the number 14 team in the country, will go on the road to Arkansas State, playing in a smaller venue there in Jonesboro. Number 20, Utah, will visit Wyoming. Apparently that was a pretty big rivalry back in the day between those two schools. That might be old border conference potentially between Utah and Wyoming. TCU will host Abilene Christian coming up this weekend. In terms of the top 25, let's see. Number 4, Oregon is on the road at Northwestern. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of games.
Ohio State plays Washington, right?
Ohio State, no, they play Ohio.
Oh.
they get the Bobcats.
Oh, they get Washington
weekend.
next week.
Next week, yeah, next week. Oh, yeah, they host the Bobcats this weekend. Other than that, the only, I think, the game involving 2 ranked teams is number 16 Texas A&M. Will play at 8th-ranked Notre Dame this weekend. Notre Dame has played just one game this season. They're still looking for their first win of the year. That is a check of your scoreboard.
The Wildcats Radio 1290 Game Day Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, Arizona's leading injury law firm.
Ready to score a new vehicle? Whether you are looking for a new car, truck, or electric vehicle, at Royal Kia, we know exactly what you want. A quality vehicle at a great price and to be treated fairly. We stand by our transparent online pricing, offer a 72-hour buyback guarantee, and you work with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $589 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus, or royalkia.com.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. 2 powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. CoolWillies.com. Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway. And discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
For over 30 years, Tucson has been putting its trust in First Chiropractic for auto and on-the-job injuries. They're locally owned and a proud sponsor of the U of A radio broadcasts. So if you've been injured, make the right choice. First
Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Hi, this is Peter Costa, former governor of the New York Stock Exchange and proud member of the Advisory Business Council with Meridian Wealth Management. One thing I've learned over 40 years on the floor is the value of a trusting relationship with your financial advisor. After all, everyone is a genius when the markets are going up, but when they drop, that's when the guidance of a professional is most important. For more information about Meridian, call 719-1433 or visit online at meridianwealthllc.com.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rockin' K. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilder.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
September is here. The kids are in school, football has started, and it's still hot in the old Pueblo. Picturock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing is your trusted, local, and family-owned air conditioning and plumbing service provider. We have been serving Tucson and the surrounding areas for over 24 years. Call Picturock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-492-0748 or go to picturockscooling.com to set up your next appointment online.
Picturock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Our Window Depot coverage of UA football continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the tight end Glenn Howell, and the captain Kelvin Eafon. Gather up, Wildcats fans. It's time to hear from our captain. It's time for our pregame speech. Captain's Corner is brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier, since 1960, here to get you there. And now, here is the captain, Kelvin Eafon.
Welcome into this week's edition of the Captain's Corner, presented by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto. I'm Kelvin Eafon. Our guest today is Marquis Flowers, class of 2013, linebacker of the class of 2013. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Man, I'm doing real good, man. I appreciate you coming on, man. I see today they have you being an honorary captain, man. How you feel about that and the program doing a great job? Coach Sanders, Brandon Sanders, I said Coach Sanders, Brandon Sanders bringing you back to the program. How you feel about that?
Oh, man, it's a huge honor, man. It's an honor. It's a surreal feeling, man. It's definitely bringing back nostalgia for me. B. Sanders been doing a great job, man. I've been in touch with him and just basically reconnecting the alumni here with the program, man, that we picked and that we love, man.
Yes, sir. Man, I be seeing you online, man, and I be seeing you, man. You for the Cats, man, and you tell it like it is. So I've been wanting to get you on here for a minute, man. Again, appreciate you coming on. Tell us, what have you been up to?
Oh, man, I just, been up to just taking care of my health, man, and also trying to teach my son the game of football. I tried to keep him away from it, obviously. He grew up around it, so he wants to play football. So I'm out there coaching the youth, building a youth program, man, trying to get back to community, man, and just doing it all, volunteer, doing it for free, kindness in my heart, and just trying to, teach young men to dream big from the area and have big dreams and hopefully go to college, man, and do something they love.
Yes, sir. No better person to do it. You from the Phoenix area. You went to Millennium High School up there. Tell me how it feel getting recruited to Arizona, being a home state kid.
It was honestly, man, it was a blessing. Obviously, my first two offers was obviously that school, ASSU, and then obviously U of A. And then after that, all the offers started rolling in. But I'm an Arizona guy, man, born and raised, so I always knew that it was going to be between the Arizona schools, and I'm grateful for it, man. If I do it all over again, I'll pick Arizona all over again, man. I love it.
A real Wildcat right there.
True.
Yeah.
A true Wildcat. So tell me, who recruited you here? I believe it was Tim Kish. Who recruited you here?
Yeah, so I got recruited by Tim Kish and Mark Stoops.
Okay. Tim Kitt and
Mark Stoops.
Okay, yeah, the defensive guys that saw you. So you came in as a safety, but ended up a linebacker. I remember when I first saw you, linebacker was written all over you. How did you make that change, and what happened to make you make that change? Because I know you played as a safety as a freshman, right?
Yeah. So I got recruited as a safety, really an athlete. I had offers for running back also. So I had to make a couple of decisions back then. Do I want to play offense? Do I want to play defense? I kind of knew I wanted to play defense. I always wanted to be, the hammer, not the nail. It was hard to give up running back because that was honestly my first position. But I just thought I would be better at defense. And then I had a lot of coaches telling me a lot that the frame that I had, they could tell that they could add a lot of weight, a lot of muscle, that I probably would move to linebacker. So honestly, it was an easy move. When I first started playing, I started at middle linebacker. So it was honestly an easy move, and it came across. It only came across because the year that Rich Rod came in 2012, we had two really good safeties. It was me, myself, and then Tremaine Bondurant.
Right.
And they pulled me in the office and asked, and they told me, I was a starting safety, but they told me that, there was a spot at the linebacker position that if I went there, we could fill and also get Tremaine on the field, and it'd help the team tremendously. And they also thought it'd be a good move for me, obviously, later on. And but I was always a team player, man. So anything the team needed, I always told them, man, I would do whatever the team needed. You needed me to play defensive end, I would have went down to defensive end and played if that would have made the team better. So it was an easy decision. They called me in the office, and that day I got moved to linebacker, and never looked back ever since. And it was the start was rough because obviously it's two different positions, two different techniques you got to use. But me, man, I was honestly just playing off my athletic ability, and each week, man, I got better. I liked it. I was in more of the action, more of the tackles. I thought I tackled. I thought I was a very, very good tackler. Obviously, it got me better playing linebacker, and just the speed that I brought to linebacker, the versatility. I thought it was really good, man. It was a really good move. So Rich Rod and Jeff Castile was the one who told me, and we made that move, and the rest of it.
Marquis Flowers is our guest in the Captain's Corner, brought to you by Jack Farrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Farrier since 1960, here to get you there. What I had right here, you got drafted from here, so it ended up being a great move for you, and you ended up getting drafted to the Cincinnati Bengals in the 6th round. Tell us a little bit about that in your career, and that dream we all had of getting drafted, and you were able to live out that dream. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
Oh man, it was a crazy experience, man. I can tell you that. It was a process that, it was a whirlwind of emotions because I had some teams telling me that they had me in the first couple rounds. I had teams telling me that I should have been in a Senior Bowl with the stats that I had and stuff, and was asking me why do I think I'm not in there, and they're all tests, But when it finally happened, I honestly thought I was going to go undrafted. Obviously, it was a little frustration. I had guys going in front of me. You kind of get into that. You get caught up in that of how is this guy going in front of me? How is that guy going in front of me? And I actually turned the TV off. So I was getting ready to plan where I was going to go as an undrafted free agent, which was fine. And I know Tampa Bay was calling me, and I was actually going to go to Tampa Bay. So I was actually in contact with Lovie Smith. We was working out to make me the highest paid undrafted free agent. They took all offensive guys. And then I told them, hold on, somebody was on the other line. When I answered the phone, it was actually Carmen Lewis. And he was saying congratulations. The TV wasn't even on, so I didn't know what was going on. And, yeah, so that's how that happened. And then didn't really know what round it was, but he said congratulations. And honestly, all the emotions, all the anger, all the frustration, everything went out the window when I heard my name get called. And obviously, like you said, it was something that you work on, that you dream of. And when it actually got called, man, it was one of them things that it honestly didn't matter what round I went. It was just, I was filled with surreal emotions, emotional day, happy for the family. And then it was time to get to work. But it was one of the craziest days, honestly.
Hey, Marquis, David Kelly here. Obviously, you end up, after 3 years in Cincinnati, getting a chance to play in New England in that fabulous system under Bill Belichick, reaching that Super Bowl in early 2018 off that 17 season. Once you get to New England and you're in an environment like that with one of the best football programs in the world, what was that like to be a part of that?
Oh, man, it was honestly, it's exactly what I needed. You never know kind of things that happen in life, and it's what you needed. It's honestly what I needed. Like you said, man, it was one of the greatest football programs. Everything they did, man, I learned a lot of football. I learned how to be a professional. I grew up faster in New England. And but the thing I loved about New England the most, man, being in that league, being in the NFL, obviously we know how the NFL is more of a business, but New England was the only team I was really on that felt like an actual team, like college, a brotherhood. It was the leadership from the players. It was like, it just felt like, we were actually playing together. We were happy for one another, celebrating it. And Bill Belichick, obviously, the Bill Belichick, the Tom Brady, the whole media frenzy, the adversity that we faced and we got through, making it and playing in the Super Bowl. It was honestly one of my favorite years, honestly. If not my most favorite year, 2017, when I played in New England, when I was in the NFL, for sure.
Who were some of those guys? Who were some of those guys that made it feel like that?
You know what? And this might sound crazy, but when I got to New England, I was honestly surprised at how many leaders they had. Because, when you think captains are the ones that's the leader. In New England, man, they had so many leaders. You want to go from Nate, I can name so many guys, Nate Ebner, Tom Brady, Matthew Slater, Dante Hightower, even Landon Roberts. Everybody was a leader. It was honestly crazy how many leaders they honestly had. Everybody knew what to do. So they took it seriously, and it was almost like you stuck out like a sore thumb if you wasn't a part of that culture and you didn't want to buy into that. And once you bought in, man, it was fun. We were winning football games. Obviously the city was behind us. It was just a great atmosphere, great place to play, man. It was honestly one of the best sports cities I ever been to. And it was hard for me to say that because I'm a Lakers fan.
Marquis Flowers is our guest in the Captain's Corner, brought to you by Jack Farrier Tire and Auto. Jack Farrier since 1960, here to get you there, man. That's what's cool, man. I got drafted. I mean, I didn't get drafted. I ended up going undrafted when I led the Pac-10 in touchdowns, and they said I was going to get drafted. Ended up being a free agent, and just going through all that different stuff, and those memories, man, are always cool to have. And you in particularly being for Arizona, that's known for defense. How did you feel carrying that tradition on into the NFL?
I mean, it was great. I was glad to be a part of that. A lot of people don't know about Arizona, but when you look at it, here's the Teddy Bruschi, the Lance Briggs. For me to be a part of that, honestly, it was amazing feat for me. Obviously, back then I didn't realize it, but now I do. Chris McAllister's, yes, I'm a part of that, where they could say, Marquis Flowers came to Arizona, made it to the NFL. Played in the NFL, man. And, but, I hear you. I hear you on the part where they tell you was going to get drafted. That's why I said that was a crazy ordeal, right? I always go back to my 2012 season, man. I always glow about that. I know I got mad about that year, and I usually don't get mad about awards, but I got snubbed so bad on the damn Pac-12, all Pac-12 team. It was crazy. My stats was matching the guy who they gave the Pac-12 Player of the Year to, and it was one of those things. I didn't want to be selfish, but just for his legacy stuff that you try to accomplish, I get it, man. So I was like that too. But honestly, now looking back at it, I'm just grateful and thankful that I even got a chance to play at the highest level.
Facts. Yeah. Now you realize that a lot of guys don't get those opportunities. So yeah, when I came out and was a free agent, you're thinking, man. But then you look back and you see a lot of guys don't get free agent opportunities. They definitely don't get drafted. So yeah, great opportunities there. Have you seen this year's team? And tell me what you think about them so far.
Got to watch a couple games, obviously against Hawaii, obviously against Weber State. And I'm always rooting for Arizona, man. I don't care what team we going against. I'm gonna tell them we gonna win. But this would be a big test for them tonight getting into conference play. They look good though, because I tell people all the time, yeah, you play games that they say, hey, this team is supposed to win, but when you win it convincingly, it's showing that what type of team you are. If you're struggling with a team that you feel like you're supposed to win, that's when you kind of say, hey, we kind of struggled a little bit. And, that happened with us last year when we struggled with a little bit with the teams that we played last year in the beginning that we should absolutely beat. So this year it doesn't look like that. The boys playing with a lot of energy. The coaching staff is great. It seemed like they got the boys that was ready for a new year. We just got to stay healthy, and I think it's going to be a fun one tonight. I think Arizona's going to make themselves relevant after tonight.
Marquis, you mentioned Tremaine Bondurant and playing behind him when you were coming up, and who I still today tell people I think is one of the most impressive defensive players that I've seen in the 17 years that I've been covering this program. He made that transition from safety down to linebacker. You did the same thing, and we've got Max Harris on this team this year who's a safety by trade, who is now playing more in that linebacker position. What are the keys to making that transition?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that, safety and linebacker are similar, especially if you're a strong safety. They are a lot similar if you play in the box a lot. And Tremaine was one of those players, man. He was just such a playmaker and a good tackler. I think the biggest key to it is that if you're a good tackler, you're going to like it more. You're in the action. You're in the box. You're basically the guy who has to stop, right? Run and pass. You got to do both. So you automatically are going to be versatile, because one thing about linebacker, you got to stop the run, but you got to play the pass too. All right, you call the defense. You got to do it. You basically are the quarterback of the defense, and they make the plays out there. Obviously, I'm biased because I was a linebacker. We're the toughest guys on the field, right? So it's a transition that, when you first start, you got to give it a little time for the game to slow back down in that position, because you see it's a different viewpoint. But once you get comfortable there, man, you can make a lot of plays and change a lot of games there. So I think it's a good thing when they move safeties to linebackers.
And have you seen any guys on the team so far that catch your eye? Max Harris, to me, I love the way, I'm a Texas boy. Max Harris is from my area, Dallas. He's a Texas boy as well, and I like his style of play, how he's getting to the ball. Any other guys that you see that stand out?
Yeah, I mean, I see a couple guys. Obviously, I'm from Millennium High School, so I got to shout out my guy Stoops. I got to shout him out when he comes back. He stands out just because we come from the same kind of journey from Millennium High School to U of A, being a captain. But one of the guys that's pretty impressive right now, obviously he's going to keep growing players, is that Genesis Smith. He reminds me a lot of Adam Hall. He reminds me a lot of Adam Hall when I was here. Genesis Smith, he's a good player, man, leader on the defense, man. He's making a lot of plays, man, that he just keeps playing and keeps listening to the coaches, keeps progressing, man. He's going to be a big-time player on Sunday.
All right, Marquis, a couple more questions. Tell us about the USC game.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, one of the best games of your career here at Arizona.
Yeah, so USC, honestly, every time we play USC, I didn't really have to bring the energy for the game. The media, USC kind of brought it. They always had to mention how many guys had scholarships from USC on our team, and I think at that time
they still did that up until we left that conference.
Okay, yeah, they still do that. So they're talking like we can't be on the field with them because only 2 guys from the team were offered by USC and all that. So it was just one of them games that I loved playing against USC. It was personal for me because my family was from California. They all wanted me to go to USC. For the last 3 years out of Arizona, the number one player in Arizona, I think it was Devin Kennard and Everson Griffin, they went to USC. So USC thought it was a shoo-in that I was going to go to USC. And when I didn't, it made a lot of people upset. And so every time I played them, I had to make sure that they knew that, I made the right choice and I'm going to go hard against you. And just to turn their heads and just make them even more mad. So it was a little personal vendetta with me. But every time I played them, man, it was always going to be a good game. We was going to get my best. It was just one of them games I always circled on the count like, okay, we playing USC. I'm tired of hearing it. Let's go out there. Let's play some good football.
That's awesome. And then obviously we mentioned you got to the Super Bowl. What was that week like for you to be? I mean, that's the ultimate for any kid that grows up playing this game to have a chance to be a part of Super Bowl weekend and play Super Bowl weekend and play in that game.
So I'm gonna give you the correct answer. Honestly, the true answer. Obviously, it was a huge game. Obviously, the media, it's a lot of distraction. And I learned this, obviously, because I'm learning from the best, right? We're talking about Bill Belichick, Tom Brady. The guys in New England been to the Super Bowl so much, it's almost like a regular game for them. Like, when I was looking around the room, I'm like, I can't get too excited because I'm going to stand out because these guys are sitting here. Like, there's some guys on here, that's all they know is the Super Bowl, right? But it's a huge week. All the media, they do a good job of basically, getting the game hyped up. Obviously, it's the Super Bowl, a lot of media, a lot of distractions. But you just got to go about it as another game. Not another game, but for the players, like a regular game. Don't try to do nothing that you normally don't do to mess yourself up. Just stay laser focused and just play your game and try to put your best foot forward. You only get one chance, right? And it's always going to be like, obviously, you talk to me, I'm going to always tell you I want that game back, but you don't get it back. So you only get one chance, but you got to approach it and just kind of keep your emotions under control into the game, and then just go out there, put your best foot forward, still play as a team, still do everything that got you there to that game, still try to do everything that got you there to that game. And obviously it's going to be the hardest game of the year, right? Because we're crowning world champions. Everybody's going to give 1,010% effort. And but it ended up being one of the most funnest games. The only thing I'll have, the only knock I got about it is halftime. Man, halftime for like an hour. So obviously they doing the halftime show, and I'm just like, bro, can we get back out here and start playing again? So that's about the only thing I got about it. But it was a great experience, man. And it's one of those things again, like we talked about earlier about being drafted or having an opportunity. Every time I go, you bring up the Super Bowl, I kind of shake my head like, man, that game. They like, even players in the NFL be like, man, at least you got to play in it. At least you got to experience. So it's another one of those things, man, where you got to just, I'm grateful and I'm beyond blessed to even be able to compete in that game.
And my last thing I want to ask you is, I heard you say earlier that you help coaching and building an organization, football up in Phoenix with youth football. What is the name of the team? Because I coach football down in Tucson, and I want to watch out for you just in case we catch you in the playoffs.
Yeah. So I went back with Pop Warner. The name of the team is actually the high school I went to. It's the Millennium Junior Tigers.
Okay.
So MHS Junior Tigers. I got it. So it comes full circle. My son is on the team. He wears the same number I wore in high school. Same kind of same color uniforms. And where I met my wife, where obviously where it all started for me. They do a great job, man. We just trying to get the kids and get them back to believing in themselves, having a dream, working hard, and building, basically just being a team, man. So, yeah, it's called the MHS Junior Tigers.
Oh, man, I appreciate you. Our thanks to Arizona's linebacker, Marquis Flowers, class of 2013, for joining us this week in the Captain's Corner.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Absolutely, brother.
And that's your Captain's Corner with Kelvin Eafon. Captain's Corner is brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier since 1960, here to get you there.
So hot. Hi, can I help you?
Good afternoon. We're with Goodfellas AC Rapid Response Team.
But I didn't call yet.
That's how fast we are, man.
Just as I thought. This AC is out.
No, we're not gonna lose it. Come on. Come on. Don't you die on me.
Johnson, get a hold of yourself. Sorry, we take this very seriously.
Wow, you fellas are good.
It's not just a name, ma'am.
It's who we are kind of thing.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. Goodfellasac.com.
From offices and warehouses to retail spaces and restaurants, the right lighting transforms your environment. At Arizona Commercial Lighting, we've been proudly locally owned and operated for nearly 40 years. Our extensive inventory of in-stock lighting solutions is designed to meet both commercial and residential needs, with quality, variety, and value you won't find anywhere else. Visit us at 1436 East 17th Street. Be sure to ask about available TEP rebates. Arizona Commercial Lighting, powering business through precision lighting.
A proud sponsor of the University of Arizona radio broadcast.
JT Auto, where their customers are family. Stop by their newest East Side location, conveniently located at 6947 East 22nd, just west of Cole. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guarantee, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where their customers are family. 372-7704. That's 372-7704. Or jtautoaz.com.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
You mean they don't use yesterday's newspaper?
No, they use the latest in technology and innovation to eliminate bugs, bees, termites, weeds, and more.
So no as seen on TV salt guns?
Nope, only solutions that target insect biology, using chemistry to help protect the environment, people, and their pets.
You are so smart.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
Back your hometown favorite. Get your very own exclusive University of Arizona debit card from Hughes Federal Credit Union. Pair your new card with a free checking account that earns dividends with no monthly fees, no minimum balance, and convenient 24/7 online and mobile banking. Visit one of our 7 convenient branch locations to get your card instantly or open an account online at hughesfcu.org.
Nobody covers your Cats like we do, with press conferences, coaches shows, and play-by-play.
It is over. Cats have won it.
We bring you all the stories, highlights, and analysis of your Arizona Wildcats. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Find mom's best gift at Target. Now through Mother's Day, get up to 40% off gifts for her. Discover trendy apparel and swimwear that'll elevate any wardrobe. Jewelry that'll make her smile shine brighter, and even chocolate that'll turn any moment into something sweeter. There are endless options to choose from to show her she's the best. Hurry! Save 20 to 40% on select apparel, jewelry, chocolates, and more this Mother's Day only at Target. Restrictions apply.
Once upon a time, our family had trouble with pests around our home. Did you know that stinging insects send tons of people to the hospital? And teeny ticks and mosquitoes can be all around the yard. Their bites can make people and their pets sick. Mice, rats, and roaches need food and water just like us. You do not want them to visit. They can spread disease and make it hard to breathe. I'm sure glad this story has a happy ending.
Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
It's DK on the Sports Tip. Did you hear what we were talking about?
Doing a lot of around-the-house work. New tub. We had to break up the concrete, reset the pipe.
You're going to start your own show?
Not a chance. I'm not a big HGTV guy.
How much of that work are you doing yourself?
The stripping was kind of my job. I ended up taking the
stripping?
I took
You're
out the
stripping?
linoleum. I stripped out the
Am
linoleum.
I not paying you enough money that you got to strip for a living? DK on the Sports Tip, Monday through Fridays at 3, right here on Wildcats.
Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We are counting down to kickoff for Arizona football. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, 1 hour to go left with us before Brody Dryden and Kyle Quinn take over the network side of this pregame show. They'll have you right up to kickoff with Brian Jeffries and Lamont Lovett and Mackenzie Hamilton coming up at between 4:30 and 6 o'clock. DK with BB is on tap. My questions this week to the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats. We'll get your best bets in. Arizona is for the first time this year an underdog at a point and a half. So Arizona getting a point and a half tonight at home. The over-under is 54.5. That's the same as it was 2 weeks ago against Hawaii. Who will be that Kansas State Wildcat that gets underneath Arizona's skin tonight? Your pest of the game as well is straight ahead. Keys to the game What do the Wildcats need to do to win tonight against Kansas State? All of that is still straight ahead. 520-848-1290 if you want to text and get in on the conversation as well. Today, let's dive into DK with BB.
For all the questions that you need answered, it's DK with BB. Our David Kelly asks Brent Brennan the questions, and you get the answers. DK with BB is sponsored by Hughes Federal Credit Union. Hughes Federal Credit Union. We take you further.
All right.
I was on his head on Wednesday about playing faster, just all the time, and I think that showed up, right? Just it was awesome, and I think Noah threw him some great balls, to catch those, or to make those throws, those long throws, and complete them in stride, where the receiver doesn't have to slow down, is really impressive. And so those balls were on the money, and then Nunu was able to finish them, which was really, really exciting.
Coach, after you watched the tape and looked at Noah's performance, especially the way he started that game, how important was it for Seth to really give him a game plan that got him that confidence early in the game?
Well, the thing I would tell you is that Coach Deggy gives Noah a game plan like that every week. And it doesn't always go that way, but every week we're trying to put Noah Fafita in the best position to be able to make plays and utilize his talent. But obviously last week started off well. I was really, really proud of Noah. I thought he really responded, because I know he was frustrated the week before. He felt like he missed some throws, but I thought he was really dialed in. He was dialed in all week in practice. He continues to find his edge in the extra and the in between and the unrequired. And so you find, when you do that consistently, you give yourself a chance for good performances.
And as a guy who's coached a lot of wide receivers, what stands out to you about Brandon Phelps? Obviously got his first touchdown, and what potentially that young guy could add to this lineup.
Excited about BP. He's a young guy. He was injured a year ago, and so he had to sit out the season. But just to watch his growth, first of all, he's tough, super high care factor. He's a red line guy, and I think that speaks to you're starting to see him make more of a move in that room. I think it also speaks to I think we're, all this offseason we've been talking a lot about the receiver room, and I think you're seeing those guys, the different pieces in that room, start to show up and contribute in meaningful ways, which we're excited about.
Wesley Yarbo got into the game for the first time. How is he different in what you see than the other two guys that are available to you right now, in Ishmael and Quincy?
We're excited about Wesley. He's a young player. He's, even early in training camp, we had a young guy scrimmage, and Wesley got the bulk of the carries in that game, and it was great. We all came out of that scrimmage really, really excited about his physicality, excited about his vision. He's a young player, but he's a really high care factor player. It's part of one of the things that we're looking for when we evaluate players in the recruiting process. We're looking for those guys that are, come early, stay late, red line, just all about it all the time. And that's Wesley. And so we're really excited about him.
Mason Pesse is another young guy who's kind of stood out early on that defensive side. What's his upside look like to you right now?
I'm really excited about Mace. I think he's a young player. He's explosive. He's powerful. He's just, kind of growing into his body as a young man. But, as he continues to get stronger and he combines, some real strength with that explosion, he's going to be hard to deal with.
Coach, in terms of that zone read defense, when the quarterback keeps the ball and you're the first guy that's supposed to be responsible gets sucked in, what's important for that defensive back who's kind of left out there like Michael Dansby was in that first instance in the game the other night?
Yeah, I think, the receiver is supposed to be blocking Michael Dansby too, right? So he's got to navigate both those things. To me, I would say that one of the ways that you eliminate that is by getting population of the football, and that's red line, right? So if we are living the red line and we are all over it, then if there is a mistake, we can hopefully erase it by playing with fanatical effort and getting people there and getting the ball carried on the ground.
In terms of the kickoff, Brent, did you guys purposely underkick that last one to get a return on it? And you, in the last few years, you haven't had a lot of kick returns. So when you have a guy like Ian who can put it in the end zone every time, do you still spend the same amount of practice time on that? Because
yes, you do. You absolutely do. Just because I think the challenging thing about special teams is you are either defending space, like a crazy amount of space, or you're attacking a crazy amount of space. And so those. And because you don't spend as much time in that world as you do, say, offense and defense, because there's a far lower percentage of those plays in the game, but those are huge plays in the game. And so that the emphasis of the kickoff coverage is so important, and we practice the hell out of that.
And you did you purposely underkick that last
No,
time?
no, we don't do that.
And those are the questions that you needed answered. DK with BB is sponsored by Hughes Federal Credit Union. Hughes Federal Credit Union. We take you further.
All right, Glenn, so you got an answer to your question there. They did not underkick that one at the time. I think it was at the beginning of the third quarter there, coming out to try to get a return. But, I mean, that's interesting when you talk about the fact that I still haven't gotten a chance to look it up. But, how many returns do you think there's been in the last 4 or 5 years that but again, you still got to practice it.
Yeah, you definitely got to practice because all you need is that one slide, hit the grass first and then hit the ball, and it lands on the 20, and then they're gone. People are like, we ain't done this in a while.
And the most important thing you have to practice is stand in your
lane.
Because if you couldn't, and the lane is basically when you see the guys spread out over the field, they're basically spread out 5 yards apiece. And if somebody get out of their lane and opens up a 10-yard hole, it's curtains for most of these running backs or these returners that are back. So yes, it's very important that you practice that every time because you don't know when somebody's going to bring it out.
All right, don't forget if you were not aware, Wildcats Radio 1290 is now your official home of Carolina Panthers football as the Wildcats are arriving for the Wildcat Walk here on campus. Big first game for Tetairoa McMillan last Sunday.
Young is in the gun. It's an empty set. Here's the snap. Here's the blitz. Quick throw. Caught by McMillan. His first catch as a pro. It's good for a first down.
5 catches for 68 yards for Tetairoa McMillan. I don't know if you guys saw the one he caught on the PI. They said he didn't catch it. One-handed with the guy draped all over him. T-Mac doing still a lot of the same things. They threw to him a number of times on third down, guys, to move the chains. He's going to be
a problem.
Yeah,
he's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I'm really. I said earlier in the week, I am really looking forward to. I'm going to be at the game on Sunday. My wife and I are going up of seeing him match up against Will Johnson. The rookie cornerback out of Michigan for the Cardinals. That is going to be a fun matchup to watch.
Yeah, I think he's going to just be. I would hope that he. When I saw him at the game, I thought he should have been a little bit bigger. I thought, he wasn't as big as I thought he was. I mean, as far as muscular. So I think he needs to work on that, try to get a little bit more bigger because in the NFL, there's big guys everywhere.
Absolutely. And it's going to be a homecoming for Lathan Ransom, South Point Catholic High School. And Lathan looking forward to playing a game here in Arizona.
Super excited. I haven't actually played in Arizona since high school, so to go back, never really had as many family members and stuff that I have at this game as I had at Ohio State. So to go back and play in front of my family members, friends, is something I'm super excited for. Can't wait to do.
There you go. Lathan Ransom only got on the field mostly in special teams. I think he got 9 snaps on defense, 15 in game 1 on special teams. But Dave Canales did indicate that he's in line for some more reps on the defensive side of the ball as Lathan Ransom.
He's on the field. Being on the field, on the roster is good.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's tell you, see if we can win some money on this game today.
Tucson, it's time to beat the book. Will the Cats beat the spread? It's time to look at the numbers and find out how you should bet the book so you can beat the book. Bet the Book is sponsored by Casino del Sol. Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf.
All right, Arizona is a 1.5-point underdog tonight against the Kansas State Wildcats. I wanted to say Jayhawks, but that's the other thing, other team in Kansas. Guys, I like Arizona tonight. I really do. I like the way this defense is playing. I think they're going to be inspired here tonight after what happened last year. And I understand Kansas State has not played well, and they're going to get it together. This is still one of the best programs in the Big 12, but I think Arizona wins this game tonight over Kansas State.
I'm with you.
I'm taking the point and a half.
I'm taking the point and a half too. Put me down too, because I think that the reason why I like this game, that we can win it, is because I like the way we've been physical the last 2 games, and this game's going to be physical.
Yes, and I agree with both of you guys. But the reason why I like it is because all those new guys on our team are ready to play this type of game. They're ready to play a P4 type of school. They came here to play these people. I've seen these guys step up and play well, and I think they're excited tonight to play against the Kansas State.
All right, the question then is this going to be a scoring game tonight? That's probably the bigger thing. I'm thinking I could see this being like a 20 – I could see it being right around the number, like 28, 27, something like that right there. I don't know if either one of these teams gets to 30. I'm going to take the under. I'm going to take slightly under, I think, on this one.
Under for what? What is it?
It's 54.5.
54.5? Yeah, I'm under too. I'm under too.
So everybody's going to take the under on that. So everybody's going the same way again tonight. Arizona plus the 1.5 and the under 54.5. We'll see if we're catching some tickets after the game.
That is how you bet the book so you can beat the book. Bet the Book is sponsored by Casino del Sol. Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf. Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona football continues. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 3 of the pregame show is brought to you by ABC Heating and Cooling, Arizona Commercial Lighting, Blue Sky Pest Control, Broadway and Tucson's 20th anniversary season, Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, First Choice Pools, Goldberg and Osborne, The Injury Lawyers, Gospel Rescue Mission, Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Shamrock Heating and Cooling, Showtime Sports Cards, Tucson Appliance Company, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
It's that time of year. School is back. Football is back. And better yet, Truck Month is back at O'Reilly Chevrolet. If you're looking for that perfect truck, we might have it. The Chevy Silverado, the #1 selling full-size pickup in Arizona for the last 3 years, is available right now. So see us at O'Reilly Chevrolet on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or go to O'Reilly.com. See us at O'Reilly Chevrolet during Truck Month, giving you more since 1924. Together, let's drive.
There's never a good time for plumbing issues.
No.
Honey, my parents are here.
Oh, man.
Don't worry. With Drain Masters in Tucson, not only do you get local, professional, full-service plumbing with 24/7 scheduled or emergency service, you get a lifetime transferable warranty on all house water repiping. So this...
They brought my aunts and uncles, too.
...is gonna be fine. Drain Masters, we do it all. And now offering financing. Solid service, fair price, guaranteed. DrainMastersTucson.com.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rockin' K. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Do you trust those in charge of your financial future?
Trust is founded on 3 core principles: competence, honesty, and benevolence. Those making decisions about your financial future should always place your best interest ahead of their own. I'm Natalie Fernandez-Lee, and at Meridian Wealth Management, fostering trusted relationships with our clients is our top priority. Call us at 719-1433 or visit meridianwealthllc.com to learn more today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic is pleased to announce that Access Health Plans now cover chiropractic care. A referral by your PCP is required. For more information, go to firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care, a proud U of A radio sponsor.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
ABC Water and Air, your local comfort experts. Proudly serving Tucson and surrounding areas with HVAC and plumbing services you can trust. Fast, affordable, and reliable. Got a breakdown? They guarantee service within 24 hours. From AC tune-ups to plumbing inspections and duct cleaning, they've got you covered. Ask them about their True Tune-Up Gold Package. It's more than just a checkup. Call 520-812-1597 or visit abcwaterandair.com. ABC Water and Air, always bringing comfort.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
You mean they don't use yesterday's newspaper?
No. They use the latest in technology and innovation to eliminate bugs, bees, termites, weeds, and more.
So no as seen on TV salt guns?
Nope. Only solutions that target insect biology, using chemistry to help protect the environment, people, and their pets.
You are so smart.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
Our Window Depot coverage of UA football continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the tight end Glenn Howell, and the captain Kelvin Eafon.
Cats in a hurry, out of the pistol set. Monty behind Fafita, play fake. Fafita rolling right, throws in the flat. It's caught there to the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. Trey Spivey, his first as a Wildcat.
Play action pass. Spivey came across the formation. Fafita just dumped it right in his hands, and he just sprinted. It was a race to the corner of the end zone. Great job for Arizona offense once again.
Trey Spivey, the newest Arizona Wildcat in terms of, one of the newest Arizona Wildcats in terms of a wide receiver and a guy that played on this Kansas State team last year. Trey Spivey, the son of Junior Spivey, baseball player, Major League Baseball player, Arizona Diamondback, was a part of that World Series team in 2001. Ernest Lee is the full name, Ernest Lee Spivey. I've never met Gramps, but Ernest Lee Spivey, senior, junior, and now Trey here. 2 catches for 37 yards. You heard the touchdown being the second of those 2 catches, and had the 1 catch in opening week against Hawaii where he went up into triple coverage and brought that ball down. One of the more impressive catches so far of the season for your Arizona Wildcats. Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day coming to you live from the U of A Mall. We've got a little bit of time left to go with you, a little over half an hour. Let's hear from Trey Spivey on that touchdown catch that he had last week.
I think that, I just came across the field, and Noah went through his progressions. He saw me open. We had other routes open, cross behind me, but he got the ball to me, and it was a pretty simple play. There wasn't a lot to it. You know what I'm saying? Just got the ball to me, and then the rest just used my feet to get to the end zone.
Yeah, Noah had a couple of different options on that play. He could have gone to deep corner to Brandon Phelps, who was open, as Trey mentioned there in the back of the end zone, but took the underneath route, and Trey sprinted to the pylon to get it into the end zone. And I just thought that was just a good showing of how, Noah from week 1 to week 2, when I said he should have taken that dump down route in week 1 instead of throwing it to Spivey in traffic, took the dump down route to Spivey in week 2 and got a positive play out of it.
Yeah, if he was going to take the one on the high end. If he was going to take that, he would have had to throw it right when he threw it to Spivey.
Right.
Because it had to go right then. But he made a good decision on that, and he did well. He did well. There's the Harveys.
Retirement looks good on Fred Harvey. He's got his little Yeti with him.
Yeah,
what you got? What you got in that Yeti there, Coach? What you got over there?
Got a little yak. He did a good job of checking down and getting to Junior, and Junior has speed too. That's what I like. Trey. But his dad, I used to see his dad at the gym all the time when he was with the AAA team.
Oh, it's Sidewinder.
Yeah, the Sidewinder.
Yeah.
So he used to come to the gym. I used to hang out with him a little bit. And I hope to see him at the game. I would love to see him. I wonder if he remembers, because that's like a long time ago. You're talking about maybe 30 years ago. Wow. So but I think that, he's going to be a great asset. We got to use him, and I think he can go deep too.
Yeah.
So that's what's good.
He got some of the skills that T-Mac got.
Yeah.
You don't want to say that, but he definitely got some of those skills with the height and athleticism.
Yep.
Well, and Seth Dagey would agree with you that Trey Spivey is definitely multifaceted.
And like he said up here and told you, he wants to be more than just a big body receiver, and I believe he is, because he can really accelerate. And I think you saw that on the touchdown that we threw him this past weekend, where it was just a little flat throw. But when he caught the ball, he accelerated through the end zone. And I think that's a skill set that most people don't see as him, because, like I said, he is a big body, which I prefer, especially on the edge, because those guys can make things right, which he does a lot of the time. He can go up and get balls over people's heads, 50-50 jump balls, and then separate, when the coverage is tight. But at the same time, there's times where he can really separate by being explosive.
Trey Spivey, again, a Phoenix kid, decided to follow his college career to Kansas State initially, was recruited by the last staff here, Jed Fish's staff. So, again, Arizona was a school, and I've always said, you got to recruit those kids, and if it doesn't work out where they go, you get them on a bounce back, and that's certainly what happened here, although under a different staff. Trey this week talked about how he felt like he grew up a lot playing in Manhattan.
Honestly, I look back at those days and I smile, because I feel like I grew a lot there. And I've grown a lot here too. But just coming from high school, going straight into a program like Kansas State, they pride themselves on hard work and responsibility. So I had a lot to learn, just making it to places on time, even not having a car, making sure I had a ride. It was just being early. I had to really grow up at Kansas State. So I think that was huge for me. It was just setting, kind of gave me a formula to how to become a man. And I think that me coming to Arizona has helped me grow and expand off that.
Well, again, you think about just the little minute things like, you get to school and you don't have a car. How are you going to get to practice, get to the meetings on time, get to the weight room on time? Those are things that young athletes have to learn those first few years in school, because you don't want to be late.
Man, I remember when I first got here and I lived at Babcock over there. I had to run all the way over here just to make sure that I was on time. And I was always like a half an hour on time, half an hour before. Make sure I could hang out, see what the guys are doing, get to know the guys, especially when you're a new guy and you don't know nobody. It's tough, man. You got to and then they're sizing you up and everything, man. And it's like you gotta show, man. You gotta show. You gotta be out there and talking to guys and getting to know guys, and that was the toughest part of, the easiest part I thought was just getting on the field and playing.
Yeah.
So that's a tough thing to do.
Before we hear from Seth Dagey on the growth that Trey Spivey has made from spring to fall, let's pause here for station identification. You're listening to Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. The Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com.
And we are live from the U of A Mall, final half hour of the show. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. I'm David Kelly. I've got the tight end Glenn Howell, class of 1985, the captain Kelvin Eafon from 1998. It is the Wildcats and the Kansas State Wildcats tonight, and a chance for Arizona to go to 3-0 on the season. Let's hear from Seth Deggy on the growth of Trey Spivey since he arrived in the spring.
He's grown tremendously since the spring. In the spring, it was almost, obviously new system, new way of practicing. The tempo was different, getting in shape, getting some chemistry with Noah and the other quarterbacks, learning the signals. All that stuff was a lot. And once he kind of settled in, you really could see his skill set. And like he sat up here and told you, he wants to be more than just a big body receiver, and I believe he is, because he can really accelerate. And I think you saw that on the touchdown that we threw him this past weekend, where it was just a little flat throw. But when he caught the ball, he accelerated through the end zone. And I think that's a skill set that most people don't see as him, because, like I said, he is a big body, which I prefer, especially on the edge, because those guys can make things right, which he does a lot of the time. He can go up and get balls over people's heads, 50-50 jump balls, and then separate, when the coverage is tight. But at the same time, there's times where he can really separate by being explosive and kind of leave you behind. There's a couple. I remember a couple plays in camp that we threw, deep post and deep V's to him, and he was running. And so it excites me. I think he's still growing, and I think he's got a lot of confidence, especially through the camp that he had, and then a couple plays that he made. The first play of the season, we threw a ball that probably shouldn't have been thrown, and he made the play. I'm excited about him. I'm excited that he's getting this opportunity to play this weekend, or on Friday, against some of his former teammates for sure.
All right, we said earlier in the week that we felt like, on the show, we said we felt like the Wildcats had won this trade with Gunnar Maldonado for Trey Spivey. Kelvin, your thoughts?
No, I agree, and it's deeper than what people may think. It's deeper than the stats. I'm going with that. I believe that Trey could tell us a little bit more about their offense than what Maldonado can tell them about our offense.
About our defense. Our
offense. Our defense, too.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a different defense.
Right.
It's a different defense, a different style of play there. And also, the offense is different too, because he goes against the offense. So a lot of times, like me as an offensive player, I used to ask our defensive players, about some of the guys on the other team or whatnot. And I just feel like that Trey could tell us about their offense because he played in it last year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just don't think there's much that could be said about the defense right now or his experiences versus the offense, because it's a totally different offense, with Sept here.
Yep, that's a good point, Kelvin. And I was thinking on the other side of Trey being such an asset that he is, because of his height, we replaced the height guy with another height guy. So we got two, we lost T-Mac, and then we got another guy that we're not saying he's T-Mac, but I think he could be just as good. Right. He's got the talent. You've seen that on that first pass that Seth said he shouldn't have thrown, but and everybody else said he went up and got it. So there's some things that he can do that can really be a real great asset for our offense.
And potentially 2 more years.
Yep.
I'll say potentially.
Yeah.
I say potentially.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These days you can't.
You never know.
now.
You can't write that down.
You never know. All right, I think last year we might have had Trey Spivey as one of our pests of the game this week. Who will be that guy this year for Kansas State?
Who is the pest that the Wildcats need to be free from to win today's game? The Pest of the Game is brought to you by Essential Pest Control. Pest control with science. In Tucson at essentialpest.com.
All right, you guys know I like defensive guys, so I'm going to go with the big outside end there. Toby Onsunsami, 6'3", 250, 3-year Letterman junior out of Wichita, Kansas. So local Kansas kid, had a couple of sacks in the opener against Iowa State. Converted linebacker to defensive end, so a guy that's got the the size to move and can rush the quarterback. And I've said I think a lot of our success or non-success is going to come down to whether or not they can throw the football, stand back there and allow Noah to throw the football. So if you let this guy get loose and cause havoc for Noah, it's going to be a long night for Arizona.
I'm doing a combo, Avery Johnson and Dylan Edwards, because Edwards is coming back, and I just don't like guys coming back to, from like they're injured and they're coming back, and then this is the game that they come back for, man. I'm like, I don't like those guys. I don't like those guys. So I'm talking about, we got Andy Crouch here. We got guys that come back off of injury and they're ready to go, and then this is the game. And the combination of him and Avery is a really a pest of the game.
All right.
And my guy is Austin Romaine, the middle linebacker,
Right.
6'2", 245. He already has 28 tackles, so that lets you know what's going on with him, right? So he's a guy that tackles running backs, and anybody that try to get up, we have to get a hat on him with the offensive lineman.
Last year had 96 tackles.
Yeah.
And was second team all-conference. I think I remember him very well.
Yeah.
Austin Romaine out of Hillsboro, Missouri. All right, so Austin Romaine, Avery Johnson, Dylan Edwards, and Toby Onsunsami. Those are the guys we think are going to get underneath the Arizona Wildcats skin today.
That's our best of the game. Brought to you by Essential Pest Control. Pest control with science. In Tucson at EssentialPest.com.
It's your time to shine. This is Desert Diamond Casino, the spot with Arizona's only hometown sportsbook, the hottest slots and tables, and off-the-charts energy you won't find anywhere else. Here, there's always a fun-filled, action-packed, downright unforgettable night right around the corner. So let your hair down, turn the sparkle all the way up. It's time to live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino.
An enterprise of the Thona Ogden Nation.
Heat isn't going anywhere. Keep your AC strong through this endless summer with Rightway. When systems are pushed too hard, they fail, causing strange noises, unusual smells, or no cool air at all. Rightway is here with 15% off any AC repair to get you comfortable fast. Or be proactive and book your $65 AC tune-up today and avoid emergency breakdowns. Call 520-640-COOL or visit rightwayac.com.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
Every day is a balancing act, with work, family, goals, all asking for more. It helps to have tools that meet you at every step and a team that will always be by your side. We're ICCU. We're a credit union that has been helping members achieve financial success since 1940. In fact, we put member success first, one by one, year after year, for 85 years and counting. Now, we're here for you, Tucson. Join us, ICCU.
Step into a world where rewards never end. Welcome to Club Soul at Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun. Every moment brings excitement. Every visit unlocks exclusive perks, free play, dining discounts, and more. From high-stakes action to luxurious experiences, your rewards grow with every play. Join today for endless benefits and unforgettable moments. Club Soul. Play more, earn more, experience more. Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun. Enterprise of the Bosco Yaqui Tribe.
Quick, she's over here. I don't know. I just found her like this.
Yeah, she's banged up, but she'll be fine.
Oh, thank God. What can I do?
Just need the keys. And, sir?
Yeah?
Your car's gonna be fine.
Thank you.
Mobile detailing from Recon Auto Detailing. Tired of wear and tear on your vehicle or just tired of cleaning it yourself? We'll come to you. Book with us online and see why we have over 1,100 5-star reviews. Recon Auto Detailing. ReconDetail.com.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Looking for quality windows without the wait? Come to the Window Depot. We carry a huge selection of Milgard windows, in stock now and ready for pickup. Need something custom? No problem. From new construction to full home replacement, we'll help you order the perfect Milgard windows built to fit your space, style, and budget. Whether you're a homeowner or contractor, the Window Depot makes it easy to get the windows you need fast. Visit thewindowdepot.com to find a location near you and see why we're your Milgard window experts.
Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona football continues. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 3 of the pregame show is brought to you by ABC Heating and Cooling, Arizona Commercial Lighting, Blue Sky Pest Control, Broadway and Tucson's 20th anniversary season, Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, First Choice Pools, Goldberg and Osborne, The Injury Lawyers, Gospel Rescue Mission, Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Shamrock Heating and Cooling, Showtime Sports Cards, Tucson Appliance Company, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
All right, we're back out here at the U of A Mall. Final segment of the show. It is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day, and I am David Kelly along with Kelvin Eafon and Glenn Howell. We'll have our keys to the game coming up for you shortly. Let's hear from the head coach of the Kansas State Wildcats, who come in here with a record of 1-2, lost on the road in Dublin, Ireland, to Iowa State, the Armageddon game, as they say. Don't call it that anymore, but of course we like to go against the rules and call it those things. And then a win at home against North Dakota before losing last week at home to Army, 1-2. And let's hear from the coach on what the mindset is, the mental state for his team currently after 3 games.
They had the explosive plays with the same guy in back-to-back plays, really, of that last game that he was playing in the slot, and he just ran by people. They're always going to have really good speed. I think Coach Brennan does a phenomenal job out there, he's got a really good team this year. You can tell that there's a lot of belief, and when you got a quarterback like that, it's probably pretty fun to play wide receiver for their team and their guys, and so they're going to spread it around. I like their running backs. They're good up front. It's going to be a big challenge for us because of the talent of the quarterback. You know, you can't just say you're going to stock everybody up against the run, because I think he can beat you with one-on-one coverage with the wideouts, as well as a kid throws the ball on time and it has unbelievable arm talent. I think it's experience. I think, you see Avery, I think he's better and better because of experience. And the more snaps you get, no matter what the offensive play calling is, it's pictures, it's understanding where your receivers are and understanding the leverage of defensive backs. And I think this kid does a phenomenal job of that. And from an arm talent standpoint, he's as good as there is that we're going to play this year as far as pure arm talent.
That's head coach Chris Kleiman of the Kansas State Wildcats. Talk a little bit about Noah Fifita and what he expects from the Wildcats quarterback. Saw him last year with some of the improvements he's seen, watching the tape, obviously, of the first 2 games. They win over Hawaii as well as a win over Weber State. Let's see now if we can hear from him on his team and where they are mentally after 3 games.
Frustrated. Obviously not a great mental state when you have 3 one-score games and you don't find a way to win 2 of them. I think they realize, and I think we all do when you go back and look at the film of the 3 games, how close we are, but close doesn't count. And it's a handful of plays in all 3 phases, offense, defense, and teams, that if we can flip it, we really can turn this.
I think he's not telling truths. I think they're going to stack the box, and they're going to say, Noah, beat us. I think that's what he's going to do. I think he's going to stack the box, and that's why I say it's going to be real imperative that those wide receivers understand that they got to get open. They have to get open because I think they're going to stack the box. They're going to say, you know what, you can't run the ball. You're not going to run the ball because after that week last week, they're not going to let nobody run the ball again. They don't want nobody to run the ball again against them. So I think they're going to stack and they're going to make Noah beat them.
70 rushing attempts.
Yes.
Army had last week.
Yeah.
That's
disrespectful.
70 rushing attempts.
They should have let their whole defense go on vacation.
That's
because they need to go and get
well, and I think that's one of the concerns that they have coming in here is, I mean, they got beat up a little bit physically last week.
And I think they're going to stack the box, and they're going to make sure they're going to try to say Noah beat us.
Let's hear more from Chris Kleiman, prepping for U of A this year versus last year.
It's a lot different because they have 2 new coordinators, and the challenge is they've had 2 games where they were much, much better than their opponent, and to their credit, they got after both of them really, really pretty quickly. I tried to stay up on Saturday night for the last one, but I couldn't against Weber because it was, I think, a delay. But that one, they throttled them pretty early, so how much film are you taking from all that? But I will tell you this, I love the quarterback. I think he's a stud, and I thought he was really good last year. And he started off really, really good. They're doing some unique things on defense that they weren't doing last year with a new coordinator and a new scheme, and they're playing at a really high level right now. And the kids, you can tell when you blow people out like they have the first 2 weeks, you gain confidence, and you can tell they're playing with a lot of confidence really on both sides of the ball.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no question, at least for sure on the defensive side of the ball, and I think for Arizona a little bit more after what we saw last week on the offensive side of the ball. All right, what does Arizona have to do to win tonight? Let's dive into that.
Wildcats fans, what are the big keys for today's game? Our keys to the game are brought to you by Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive Group, the dealership that is different.
Keys to an Arizona win. We all think they're going to win tonight, as evident from our Beat the Books segment. Now it's come time to tell you why we think they're going to win tonight. We'll start with Kelvin.
I think they're going to win tonight because they're going to be able – you said win, right?
Right, yeah, win.
Yeah, I think they're going to win. So, guys, I think they're going to win tonight because, again, they're feeling good about themselves. They're feeling good. They're feeling good about themselves. I got the Twins right here.
Yeah, the Twins.
They just showed up right here. Mason, Jordan,
they're getting bigger.
Guys right here.
They're getting bigger since the last time I saw them shagging balls for Adia Barnes out there.
Y'all shy. They were acting shy. You can't play basketball and be shy, guys. Yeah, but no. I think we're going to win because of the confidence that they're gaining with each other. That confidence, man, it goes a long way. It brings guys together. It make you have a belief. Again, a lot of these guys were not even here last year for the loss, so they don't have that same sour taste in their mouth or the intimidation of that they lost to this team. So I just really think it's because of the morale that they have going.
My thing, I think it's going to be a very physical game. I think it's going to be one of our most physical games we've had all season. We're going to have to be able to establish the run. I think we're going to have to do that. It's real important that we don't let them run. We can't let them run. We can't give them, 5 and 6 on first down, second down. We got to get them in bad situations, 2nd, 3rd, and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and, those kind of plays. If we let them get like 5 and 6 on first and second down, we're going to be in trouble. But we have to be able to do that and then continue with the turnovers. Again, we got to make sure we can get a couple turnovers, and then just make plays. Make the right reads when the guys are open and see what, hope Noah gets to see the field, make his right reads, and then Seth making sure that he gets Noah a good game plan where he can get going, where he can, just get him warmed up. He's going through his warm-up, get him warmed up and get him going, throw some short passes here and there, and then just let him go. Let's open up the playbook today.
All right, I want to see. I don't know if we're definitely not going to run the ball 70 times, but I would like to see a ball control type of offense tonight for Arizona. Play fast, but play fast in a controlled outset. And I think I'd like to, if we can get above 35 minutes time of possession in this ball game, I think that's going to be very key for the Arizona Wildcats in this game. I'd like to see, I want to see, I mentioned earlier, I don't know if Kedrick Reesano is going to play in this game tonight. I'd like to see them work Wesley Yarbrough into that mix with Ishmael Mahdi and Quincy Craig tonight to get back to that three guys, because I think if you can control the ball, I think Wesley could be the kind of guy that could help you run it out towards the end of the game, second half, if you have a lead. And I think for the defense, you got to get to the quarterback. You got to get to the quarterback like they've been doing. I think 3 sacks minimum is going to be important tonight, and I want to see the turnovers continue as well. At least 2 turnovers, I think, tonight for the defense as well. And if you do all those things, you're going to put yourself in a position, like we said, to cover or to take that 1.5 points and win this ball game.
And I really think penalties are going to be huge in this game. You have to make sure you take care of. When you're playing a Kansas State type of team, they're not going to get penalties. They're usually way back from Coach Snyder, they do a great job of not making dumb penalties. So I think Arizona is going to have to play a clean game as well and try to cut down on those penalties.
All right, that is what we think Arizona needs to do to beat Kansas State.
Those are our keys for today's game. The keys to the game. Brought to you by Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive Group, the dealership that is different.
All right, final few moments of our show here before we hand it over to Kyle Quinn and Brody Dryden for the Arizona Sports Enterprises portion of the pregame. They'll take you from 4:30 right up to Brian Jeffries and company kickoff. Final thoughts, guys. I'll start with you, Glenn. Final thoughts as we get out of here.
I've just been looking forward to this game all week. I think that we just got, like I said, be physical up there, Arizona Wildcats. Understand that you got to be able to jar the ball loose and just have fun and enjoy this crowd that we're going to have tonight and just get after it.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. I just believe to get this victory tonight, you're going to have to be aggressive running that ball, as Glenn said earlier. So I would like to see at least 30 carries.
30 carries. All right. I think they go by the mantra FVP, fast, violent, physical. I think the violent and the physical, like you said, are going to be keys. Continue to play with violence on defense as we got the Pride of Arizona coming by. Continue to play with that violence, but again, smart violence. We don't want to see what we saw last weekend with Jabari Man and getting guys ejected, because I think if you get another targeting situation and a guy has to sit, I think that's going to begin to take some momentum away from this defense, and you want this defense to stay on the momentum that we've been seeing here all season to this point. All right, I'd like to thank J.W. Madden back in the studio. Did an awesome job, as he always does. Appreciate him. Our crew out here, I don't know have all the names. What's your name, young lady? Victoria, Jennifer. All right, we also had Priscilla out here along with Riley. Thanks to them as well. Most of all, thanks to you for listening. For Kelvin Eafon, for Glenn Howell, my name is David Kelly. That is our time for tonight. Coming up next, it is the continuation of the pregame coverage with Brody Dryden and Kyle Quinn. It is Arizona Sports Enterprises pregame show. Coming up after that, Arizona and Kansas State live here from Arizona Stadium.
Hi, I'm Jordan Benjamin with Done Right Services. When your home or business needs HVAC, plumbing services, or electrical work, choose a genuine local Tucson company, Done Right Services. With decades of trusted experience and upfront pricing, Done Right Services treats every customer like a valued neighbor. From upgrades to urgent repairs, our licensed professionals deliver quality, care, and craftsmanship you can count on, getting it done right. Call Done Right Services today at 888-369-3966 because you deserve it done right.
Hey you, we've got something new in the store.
Well, not really in store. It's in your home, in your office, where you play, wherever you are.
My point, son. We're here, you're there.
Wherever